Uh,
What's going
welcome to
on,
the
guys?
stream. Yeah. Um, I'm streaming with Hidden Panda. Like to introduce yourself, maybe? I don't know.
What's going on, guys?
I'm
Panda from the
Octo.
Hidden Panda Show. Gonna
Yeah.
chat shit for a little while here.
Yeah, talk about No Man's Sky next and little speculations in there. It's a little juicy stuff. Talk about what could happen. Hope hope we get some answers. If you want, give us some questions. We'll happily answer that because we might run out of ideas or something.
Yep.
We need to keep going. Yeah. What do you want in the next update?
Dude, there's so many things that, like, have to happen. Dude,
Like
Gaming
what?
Lime, what's going on, man? God, I love when I see Gaming Lime in here. Um,
What's up?
so,
So,
basically, the warp animation, big problem for me.
oh
And hold
yeah.
on,
Wait, so which one? Like,
let me ask Gaming Lime if he can hear you. I want to make sure I have the audio settings. Gaming Lime, can you hear mock tone in the voice chat here? Whistling Dixie. But basically, the when I say like the warp animation, like what I mean is when you go to your star map and you pick a star,
oh yeah, that one. Oh, I hate that one
I hate it.
so much.
It's a load screen. It immediately goes to that
Yeah.
animation. It doesn't matter what direction you're going, you just end up at that star. I think that they can do a better job with that, and I think they're going to.
You know what they
It
should do?
it's a really
It
small
should feel
detail.
like you're traveling, you're not teleporting.
Right.
Because that's the teleport animation. You're going through a portal, you teleport with that same animation. You go through a space station teleportation thing, same thing, just different color. I think maybe they should take the star map and do like a slow little zoom to the star, maybe. Or maybe you run out of gas and you're stuck in between two.
Right. Well, basically, like I just want to see. One second, just checking my audio here. Yeah, we're good on the audio on my end. I just want to see like a little bit more detail on certain things. It doesn't have to be crazy. It's just like when I warp, I want to feel like the choices I make matter. So like when I pick a certain star, it's a very small detail, but the ship can rotate to point towards that star in space, and then it
Mm-hmm.
can something else can happen that doesn't break the immersion, that then transports me there, which would be
Oh
really cool.
yeah. Yeah,
Another thing,
because you point anywhere, you'll go there.
you'll just and then all of a sudden you're there. Um,
Yeah.
the other thing too is like, and I think a big hint was made with this on I think it was the 505 Games website, the new distributor for No Man's Sky on Xbox, and they talked about seamlessly traveling from, and they used this word specifically, deep space, and then essentially like landing on a planet. And like we know that currently in the game that is not possible. You're in the solar system, but you're not in deep space. There's a load screen.
Yeah.
You load into that solar system, and then you're in that solar system, and you can go to a planet and land.
Yeah.
Deep space would
I don't even.
indicate outside of that star system. So
Yeah.
maybe what they're going to do in this next update is they're going to remove the skybox. They're going to open it all up, which would be really cool.
I I think I don't even care if it's a loading screen. I just want to see myself flying past stars. Maybe I don't know. Make it feel like you're actually traveling there. I get what you're saying, the small details, and just like it just would add so much instead of that stupid green and yellow animation that happens. Have something else at least, and maybe there's a gas setting where you slowly run out of gas when you're using it, and maybe the star's too far away, so you're throwing out into deep space and you gotta mine asteroids to get back on track. I don't know,
Well, when it
that
comes
could
to
be added, I mean.
when it comes to that, I think they should be a little careful, right? Because you don't want it to feel like Elite Dangerous. Elite Dangerous is more
Yeah.
of like a simulator, and No Man's Sky is more arcadey. They really want to throw you in and like let you explore and give you like a lot of freedom.
Mhm.
And I think that they're afraid of making things too realistic, and they should be. It's kind of like I was
Yeah.
reading an article where Sean Murray said that the procedural generation engine that they use in No Man's Sky can create ringed planets and gas planets, like gas giants. But the reason why
Yeah.
they didn't use that is because they wanted the player to be able to explore every planet in the game. Now, that's an aesthetic that they might change, and they might add those planets, but I think that their fear is that they don't want things to seem overly simulator-like. You know, because
Yeah.
it's not Elite Dangerous, and I think they want to kind of stay away from that comparison.
Yeah. Elite Dangerous is a trucking game pretty much. Oh, hello, Cyber Canadian. What's up? Welcome to the stream. We're just talking about stuff that we want No Man's Sky changed, stuff like that.
We got
Um,
we got Gaming Lime in the chat. He says I'm mostly happy about the fact that they're being open with progress or taking a step in that direction. Absolutely. What's up, Hidden? What's popping off, buddy?
maybe Say Hello did do something. Like I was thinking that when Sean Murray tweeted that.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Maybe.
I mean, Say Hello kind of served to unite the community in one way, and then people who didn't take the message the intended way. I think that Say Hello um, kind of ran amok on certain aspects of the community, and I don't think that Hello Games like really listened to it. If Hello Games listened to us all the time, we wouldn't have the same whipping plant on every single fucking planet we go to.
Mhm.
Because that's easily they could just remove that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
I don't think that that did it. I think that there was a very clear intention on releasing the information at a certain time, and I think they had to do it a little bit early because they were starting to send screenshots to different publications. They were starting
Mhm.
to, you know what I mean? There was things getting in too many different hands where something was going to happen or come out, and so Sean Murray just got ahead of it and said, "Hey, check it out, we've got something coming."
Yeah.
Gaming Lime says
Yeah.
maybe Xbox gave Hello Games some advertising advice. I agree.
Oh yeah. Xbox is now included, so like it used to be just PS4. I feel like PS4 forced them to release No Man's Sky early because when they were making the game, they were getting literal death threats, and just to release the game, people wanted this game so badly. I can tell why they did, but they wanted it too badly to where they were forced to release it. This is just kind of speculation, but like I feel like that's what happened, and if they just had a little bit more time, they could have given like at least a better game than they did release. Like I still love 1.1 or 0.1, whenever the first No Man's Sky was, before any of the updates, but I still love that, but they could have done a lot better.
You know, it kind of goes back to how small the team is, and
Yeah.
it also goes back to people like listening. You know, there's and Cobra did a video about this today, I think, as well, but I've mentioned it many times, well before I think Cobra even did this video here recently. But Sean Murray, in an interview before the game came out, literally said, "Not everything is going to be available to the player when the game ships." And he said a lot of things are possible in No Man's Sky, but not everything is possible in No Man's Sky. The interviewer then asked Sean Murray, "Do you kind of know what that is, or are you guys not like aware essentially of like what those features that are going to be missing are?" And Sean Murray literally says, "No, what I've got a very good idea." So I think that he knew before launch that not everything was going to be working, and people need to realize that the game almost didn't get made. There were several occasions where he wasn't going to make the game, and then after their office got flooded, uh, it united the team, and then the team ended up finishing the game um, because
Yeah.
he had a split dev team. So there was a lot of drama behind the making of this game, and I think that the product that we got when it came out was a great product for the type of game that it is, and the fact that it's on PlayStation 4. You know, maybe by PC standards, it's not a, you know, at the time it came out, isn't a great game, but there's nothing like it on PlayStation 4. I think that can't be argued. And
Yeah.
he, you know, he made millions of dollars. He could have just took his money and just like popped off the end of the, you know, what I'm saying, like the end of the world, and never
Yeah.
talked to us again. He
Just like,
kept working
fuck
on it.
you
So
all, I'm leaving. I'm buying a
exactly,
mansion and I'm living in Canada.
exactly, dude. If I became a millionaire overnight, I'd be like, fuck you too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but the difference between you and me is like this wasn't a cash grab, this was a dream for him, and he went through with it,
Yeah,
even if it wasn't the final version.
it wasn't a cash grab, and it's
Yeah.
important that people understand that. You know, let me catch up on the
And I feel
chats
like
now. Um,
they people are still hate. Oh, word. Okay.
Whoa, I don't even know what this means. Blade the Puppet says if it's in a word or in a look, you can get rid of the Babadook.
Oh, Babadook. Oh, that's a movie. He's just
Oh, I was
quoting
gonna
a
say,
movie.
I felt like by saying that, like I was gonna fucking die or something. It was weird. I was like, did I just
Yeah,
curse
scary
myself?
movie.
Like, what just happened?
Uh-oh. Internet trolling on a new level. Um, yeah. No, definitely wasn't a cash grab. I totally agree with you. And oh, like, it just, this is, I don't know what to say, but I can't wait till they release that update. No Man's Sky next. Like, I mean, what do you want? What's your biggest wish for that update?
So I'll tell you what I think that they need to do, and then I'll tell you what I really want. What they need to do is they need a more highly optimized version of multiplayer and player models and better interactivity between players. That's what they need to do. Now, we've had multiplayer since 1.3 came out in August to a certain level. I still spend 95% of the game being alone. I like being alone in the game. I personally don't need
Same.
multiplayer, so that's not entirely a feature that I care too much about. I think it's important that the game has it from the standpoint of it'll bring more people to play the game, and then the game will be around a lot longer. But I like the sense of loneliness I get a lot of the time.
Oh
But
yeah.
the features I want to see really improved is I want new types of biomes, and I want to see multiple biomes on the same planet. I also want to see dynamic effects like running water, waterfalls,
Oh yeah.
streams.
Waterfalls.
Thing.
Because water is just it's a plate that's sometimes placed underneath the ground, and if the ground goes low enough, the water will show. That's what
Exactly.
water is. It's nothing. It just gives, if you go underneath it, you got a little bit of time you can stay underneath. There should be waterfalls and physics. I was thinking about this. There's not really physics in No Man's Sky. They don't really, there's nothing that has to react with anything. I shot a bomb into water and the water didn't do anything. That bomb thing that explodes to the ground, but like the water doesn't react. An animal jumps in, the water stays the same. They gotta add some sort of splashing effect at least.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
And
Um,
maybe like they
well,
gotta
the
spend more time on underwater as well.
the reason that you don't have a lot of a lot of physics type things or like dynamic effects is I think a large part of it is you don't have a player model. So if your player doesn't exist and you walking around are just sounds and you're just a gun floating through the air, then what is going to move the water around you? What object are you adding collision to? You know, it's there's a lot of things that they need to incorporate in the game, and I think those things are going to come again. He's got to. Hello Games has a larger development team now. They have more artists than they did before. They've got more programmers. They hired people from other companies that specialize in different things, like procedural cities and character modeling. And they had an open position for a visual effects artist and things
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
what did that guy say?
And those are the kind of people that work on that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, what that the guy where he talked? What did he say? Anything special?
What guy?
Did that happen yet? Isn't one of the guys from
Oh,
who
Innes
worked on
McKendrick.
who's working on? Yeah, yeah. What did he
Yeah.
say?
So
Did he say anything?
his I've not been able to find that video, that GDC presentation yet. But
Mm-hmm.
on GDC's YouTube channel, sometimes they kind of trickle release stuff over time that doesn't usually come out right away. But I haven't seen anything yet. But from what I've
Oh.
heard, he mostly talked about how when you change an input in No Man's Sky, it changes a lot of outputs because of how the generation works. So if they change the animation of a single, like let's say the way the grass blows, that might
Mm-hmm.
have a massive effect on everything else in the game. Um, let's see here. Oh, special guest in the house. We got Kazuya in the chat. What's up, Kazuya? Thanks for stopping by. Cyber Canadian said, I feel like 1.5 will be a relaunch. I think 1.5 is a joke. I don't even think it's going to be called 1.5. I think they're saying it
Yeah,
like
that's stupid.
sarcastically, like, what is 1.5?
Yeah,
Because,
one point. Why change it? Why change it? 1.4, even if it's not a good number that's easy to count with, it's 1.4 and it's still gonna 1.3. That's not a good number yet. It's good because it's 1.3. It's the update, not the number.
right. I don't even
I don't care.
I don't even think
Yeah.
it's that entirely, dude. Like I think it's like a the they're talking about releasing the next update in summer this year, right? So
Hmm.
August 31st is the end of summer in most places. So, or at least in the UK. And the game came out in August sometime. So I'm thinking that they're going to release the update on the second year anniversary of the original release of No Man's Sky. It's going to be called No Man's Sky Next, which is going to be like their 2.0 version. And so I agree with Cyber Canadian. 1.5 is going to be a relaunch, and I don't think the update is actually going to be called 1.5. I think it's going to be 2.0. I keep going back and forward on this a lot and kind of changing my mind, but right now that's kind of what I've got in my head.
Yeah. I think I think if they do add a player model, they gotta add some sort of customization. They can't just have the same player model.
You're right.
Like
And that's
if
the thing I'm
like
looking
I get
forward to
it.
the most.
Oh yeah, if I get it makes sense in the earlier versions when there was no portals. Now they can manually meet up with a friend. They're obviously gonna have to at least make your suit procedural just enough to where you're actually different. Because if everyone's got like a Steve from Minecraft skin, like no one's, it's not gonna be very special. You're the same dude, copy and pasted, which that wouldn't pass. That'd be stupid. So I think either they'll just have procedurally generated suits or they'll let you customize it. Now I wish you could just customize it. That'd be cool. Some skin that goes like a Steve from Minecraft skin or something, and then you can change it with upgrades maybe, or change the colors like a base, or something like that. Just different backpacks and guns. I mean,
I
guns
have
you already
this
customized.
I have this like mental video that plays in my head of like if I were them and I had the ability to do it, and obviously this is like a pipe dream. But one way that I think would be really cool that they could introduce your character, your player model, is that everybody has the same base player model, but before that you, let's say that you're in a star system, your network services are not allowed to be turned on until you complete this one objective. So when you boot up the game, a space anomaly appears in your system for everybody that boots up the game after the update. You have to get in your ship and go to that space anomaly. When you go, the door opens up at the back, the one that's not been opened yet, and Polo has used the data that you've collected over all your travels that you report back to him to build you a new exosuit. So you
I
go
think, yeah,
behind
yeah.
that door, and now that is your customization screen. You interact with it, the camera pans away for you, you see your starting base player model, and then now you start slapping on your backpacks and the different colors and the type of suit you want and your
Trust
helmet.
me. You
So,
when you said the part where it's like it starts zooming away and it shows the what you look like, that gave me shivers. Like I've got fucking goosebumps, dude. Like it just
but
slowly and then it slowly shows your character model maybe, and it's just
yeah,
like the most glorious moment. You don't want any spoilers, so maybe in the trailer they just say you got a character model and you can customize it. But
like would that
man,
not be
that
like
would.
a cool way to do it? Like to introduce the having a player model?
Oh yeah, like it'd be such a big moment for people who's been playing from day one. I'm making a video about it, like a more structured one, but like, there's so much evidence leading up to it, yet you've never seen it in game. There's all that artwork and stuff, but you never seen it standing by your spaceship or doing stuff that it just that'd be a really cool moment. It's like lift off for the first time in your spaceship. It just it'd be a nice achievement
Yeah.
after waiting so long. It's gonna be 2 years. If it does come out, when you say it does, it's gonna be so cool just to see what you look like. And
Well, my
the thing
channel
I'm kind of
partner,
worried,
I was
yeah,
just gonna say my channel partner he's always had kind of a cool theory that your traveler character, obviously is like in a simulation, and when the next update comes out, if it's going to be really robust, is that in terms of the game's lore and everything, that like you now are exiting the simulation into a more fully realized and realistic world, and and that would be one way to introduce player models and higher fidelity details and things like that. And I'm not sure if that's how it's going to happen or not. Obviously, this is all speculation, but I just kind of like where his mind's at with how that would go. What's
the
up,
thing is,
Cuzwalt? Thanks for joining the chat, dude. Gaming Lime says, well, it's called No Man's Sky Next, so I would think that they are moving on to the next whole integer being 2.0. Yeah, I kind of said that earlier as well. I think me and you were on the same page, Gaming Lime, so it's a great concept that I think that you've got there, and um, I kind of think that that's probably where it's headed. And then Kazuya says the fact that Sean himself announced the update and then it will be the biggest update ever makes me believe it could be. And I agree, Kazuya. And he said that they're working their socks off. Plus, they've been working on this update since like October is when the last patch for 1.3 came. So there's a lot of time that's been spent on this, and especially if we're not going to get it until I think the official date has been talked about on Engadget's website. So we're like looking at like an August release date for this update and for the Xbox One version of the game. So it's taken them all this time for this, no pun intended, next update. Yeah, I think it's going to be huge. So,
oh
but
yeah,
sorry, go ahead, Mocktown. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I totally forgot what I was saying. But like, yeah, the thing that I'm worrying about for character models and stuff, like, there's no NPCs in the game. We don't know how they'll handle animations. I've seen the herky-jerky movements of Artemis and uh, just like where they move their hand a little bit because they're angry or something, and it looks kind of herky-jerky. And if it just moves one place to the other in a weird motion, I'm worried how they'll handle like walking and shooting and running because your character walks slow, and I'm looking around in video games trying to find a video game where your character walks in a way that'd be appropriate for No Man's Sky, and I really can't find one, so I just want an example of how they handle that.
Well, your character walks slow because they have to for the mechanics of the
Yeah.
game because it's procedural. It's kind of
Yeah.
like when you're driving around your exocraft is moving so fast that you get like a lot of pop-in problems. And so the slowness your character moves, I think, is intentional. But one thing to note with how they handle animations is that with every update, they add more and more things that move around. Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, your gas harvester, when you build it, it spins and has all these moving parts, and it makes noises and it whirls about. And then your exocraft. This is what gets me really excited about ship customizations. So they introduce the exocraft into the game, and they're completely just bare naked for the most part, right? And you go through these
Mm-hmm.
missions, and you add the technology, and you see the technology physically get implemented onto the exocraft, and you've
Oh
got the
yeah.
little radar that spins around and all that kind of stuff. And I think that that's them toying around with animations and with dynamic effects. And I think that later on, when we add technology to our ships, we're going to see the physical representation of that technology on our ship, which I'm really excited
Because
about.
everything's a symbol.
Right,
Everything's a symbol right now. There's the objects like the packages you deliver. That's not a package. That's a picture you have in your inventory. You know,
right.
or like it'd be cool to see a physical representation of maybe some sort of hyperdrive boost on the top of your ship or something. I mean, it'd definitely be harder with ships because it's procedurally generated and it's not just a base car, a
Right.
base exocraft. So if they do, they're gonna have to find a way to implement it with every single starship in a way that it doesn't clip anything,
Well,
or at least it.
there's gonna be rules, right? So like we've
Yeah.
got base ships now. You've got fighters, haulers, exotics, explorers, right, and then shuttles.
Mhm.
So and they all sort of have an obvious base structure, and then there's certain procedural aspects that make them all look different. If they can figure out a way to get rules behind where things go when you add the technology and stuff, it can be done. But you're right that the exocraft are pre-built and they're the same for everybody, so it's easy
Mhm.
for them to pull that off, and that totally makes sense.
Yeah. In spaceships, they gotta find some way to make your cockpit feel more special, at least in some way. Because it's the same if you get a spaceship, you feel like you're flying that other fighter you got, or you feel like you're flying that other hauler you got, because it's the same interior, which is just stupid to me. And there's nothing around you. It feels like a totally separate thing than what you were just looking at if you're
Right.
looking at your spaceship.
Well,
You,
again, just from a perspective standpoint, don't forget that 6 people on average working on the game at any given moment. The last game
mm-hmm,
that they made that wasn't No Man's Sky was like 7 versions
Joe
of
Danger.
Joe Dangerous, which is a cell phone game. So
Yeah,
I think a big part of the problem is they simply just didn't have enough experienced artists, and now they do, and I see
they
big
know what to
changes
do
coming.
now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they got more people working on this game than I don't know. They're becoming from a small team to a medium team. That makes me happy. They got more people looking for them,
Yep.
and they gotta. I've what they've got to add as well is at least procedurally generated planet exteriors. Like it's obviously procedurally generated when you get on the surface, but from the outside, it's. I've looked at if you see two planets with clouds in the same area, they've got the same looking clouds, just maybe a little bit different, but they've got the same clouds, which is stupid. Why would two planets have the same looking clouds? Maybe give a little bit more, like, I don't know, change to the clouds or make the surface look a little different from each planet, give it a specialty. Because one planet can look exactly like the other one, but be so much different from the
You
one
know,
it looks like.
I'm a big fan of the original release of the game, and
Hmm.
here's why. Some people are going to disagree with me. Some people are going to agree with me. But here's literally why. So with the original release of No Man's Sky, what you had was a lot of fucking dead planets, planets that had absolutely just not shit. And before I finish the point, let me see what's going on here. Gaming Lamb says easy fix for that is to get rid of or minimize the pop in. Yeah, the pop in's gonna minimizing that's gonna come with optimization, which I think we'll see in this next update. Things are just gonna run better with the procedural engine. Game Alarm says that way walking speed could be increased in order to work well with animation. No, I 100% agree, and I think Mocktone's on the same page with you on that. Um, the original release of the game, you had a lot of dead planets. I want to say it was
Yeah.
like 9 out of 10 dead planets, or 8 out of 10 dead planets, or planets were just dead, totally dead. When you have that expressed out over 18 quintillion planets, I specifically remember when I first started playing how surprised I would get when I would come across a planet that had life.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I went to so many just literally lifeless, low atmosphere, just dead planets. And I miss that. The reason I miss that is because people, some companies will listen to their customers too much because customers don't know what the fuck they want, right?
Mhm.
So people were complaining about how come there's no more tropical planets? I need more tropical planets. I need more planets with life. I need da 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 da. So Hello Games goes ahead and they do that. And they start updating the
Yeah.
game and adding more planets with life. Well, what happens? It cuts variation. Because before, you would only see life 1 out of every 10 times. Now you see life every 4 or 5 out of 10 times. So now the
Yeah.
amount of variation that you'll see has been cut because you have a much higher exposure level. So and the combinations you run into a lot more often, and things start looking the same. That's not Hello Games' fault. That's because people wanted to see more life on planets. Now, the way that Hello Games could fix that is to create more pre-baked assets that they can load into the combination system for the procedural gen to you
Yeah.
know to kind of create all these different things. So they've just got to create the factors that will add to the variation. But the variation problem was actually done by listening to fan feedback and giving them what they wanted, which cut the variation as a consequence.
Yeah.
So and that's why a
I
lot of
agree with
things
you
look
totally.
look the
It
same.
takes away the specialty from those pretty planets. If you have so many dead planets, then the
Right,
prettier ones will become more pretty.
right. I want
That's your
shitloads of
you want
radiated planets, desert planets,
mm,
fucking barren
dead
moons.
planets.
Yeah,
If
just
anything,
dead everything.
I want to be able to have a base on a dead planet. Those planets are actually pretty cool they're nice and calming. Like stars all day, stars all night. It
Yeah.
just not really animals and just
Well, and
minimal items.
with a farm, you can grow the resources that you need to survive there in your habitat. So it would why can't we? But like for
Yeah,
example, this planet that I'm on now, and you probably can't see it obviously because you're playing your game, but I'm on a hot, just dead as fuck planet with like a few plants on it.
yeah,
I love it. I could sit here and like live on this for hours and just like stare at it.
yeah.
I love that.
It's nice. Definitely. Um, yeah, like also another issue I have with the game is like the space. Like I wish they'd make more dark space and then maybe a nebula in the background maybe. I don't know. Like or maybe bluish space I want it lacking like you said if there's so many more dead planets then the lush planets will look even better. I totally agree with that and maybe they should go the same space. Maybe make a bunch of black space, make it like an Elite Dangerous game, and then maybe have a galaxy in the background or something, and then have a really colorful place. I don't know, but like give more variation on that and stuff, because it's way too colorful.
The,
Just too
the
much color.
the color I like because I think it's the artistic signature that Hello Games uses.
Yeah,
Um, when you see these colors and you see these screenshots, you like fucking know you're looking at No Man's Sky. Now, when it
yeah,
when it comes to space, I don't like flying into a star system that has like a bunch of puffy, pink, fluffy clouds. And that's not that I have a problem with pink. but you start
Sounds
getting
good.
you start getting a lot of clashing colors, and whenever you have a planet set against a dark space background, the planet appears much more lively and vibrant. It stands out a lot because it has a great
Mhm.
contrast ratio. But when you start adding a lot of colors into the empty space, I think it deviates from highlighting the beauty of the planet that you're looking at. And so,
Oh
I
yeah.
I kind of agree, like, that certain colors in certain places should definitely be toned down. But like the crazy, like, my home planet is a pink and green, like, really rocky radioactive planet with these crazy flower plumes. Love it. It's my
Yeah.
favorite planet. Love living there. It's awesome. It's
You got
bright as
the
hell.
wait. Is it creative or normal?
It's in normal.
Oh, isn't the one with the house looking one base, or is that creative?
No, that's hidden Geogenda's base.
Oh, I thought that was yours.
No, my base is on a radioactive planet where if you spend like 10 minutes on it, you're pretty much dead.
Oh, okay.
But it's
Is it
beautiful.
pretty? Oh yeah.
Oh my god, it's so nice. It's so
Hmm.
nice.
There's a time in creative mode when I was going to one planet solar systems just to see if they have a dead planet there that stars all the time, so I can force the game to give me a base on one of those planets. Like I was thinking, like if you want to get a base on a dead planet, it's you scan for a dead planet and then it shows you to another planet. So I thought get rid of all the other planets in the equation and force it to give me one on this planet. But
Right.
they outsmarted me on that because I couldn't find one that just had a dead planet. So I guess they thought of that. But it'd be cool to have more. It'd be cool to have more creativity options and bases as well, because some of the structures and stuff you can't even. It won't clip on to. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but like you can't clip it on to another part. Like you can't put it on. Like I don't really do base building that much, but still, I don't know. Yeah, what does your base look like?
It's very simple. My base looks like a warehouse with windows on the front and rows of farming stuff. Everything
Uh,
everything I do is meant to be put up quick and taken down quick. I don't get intricate. Like Void Gaming, he absolutely fascinates me because him and like Ogalos and Hoboxia and like all those guys that just build these incredible bases. I'm like, it would take me 45 million years to come up with some of this shit. Like,
like what?
like I don't know, dude. Like, for example, the Hidden Panda Show logo base that Boyd made. Like, what?
Mhm.
And then somebody else made Panda's house, and then another person made a house that looked like a Japanese pagoda house. I mean, it was just like there's like so many different types of shit. It's wild, man. It's crazy. What's up, Hidden?
Jeez.
What's up, y'all?
Hey.
Just crack-a-lacking, hanging out with Mock Tone.
Oh
What's
yeah.
Hey, let's go
Well,
back about 5 seconds and just forget I even said the fucking word crack-a-lacking. I don't know why I said that.
okay.
I'll take it back to like 93 on that one. Um,
Yeah, I haven't heard that in a minute.
I know, I was like, I had a Snoop Dogg moment. Cuz Walt said, I trust Hello Games will provide a great update. It's free, and I really enjoyed No Man's Sky. Cuz Walt, I agree with you 100%. I booty clap for No Man's Sky all day. It's my favorite game. I've never owned a game that I put this many hours into. Period.
Yeah. I'm
By
not.
far my
I'm not a
favorite.
gamer. It is. I don't know. I just love playing it. It's
Yeah,
a good game.
it's something about it. It's like you can talk about all the good stuff, and then you can talk about a bunch of bad stuff too, like literally for hours. But you're still gonna sit down and put like 500 hours in this damn game. I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
uh,
It's weird. It's addictive.
at GDC last year, Sean Murray said that No Man's Sky was the most played game by far. right? And that's true because almost everybody I run into has an average of about 500 hours in the game. Like me and Hidden to
Oh,
Agenda, we've been playing the same amount of time. Hidden, how many hours do you have in the game? I've got like 480 or something.
I have 732.
732 hours.
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, yeah, definitely. This is my most played game out of all. Like, I'm not. I'll like maybe a few games I've played a little bit. Like maybe I don't know. It just something sucked you back into No Man's Sky. It's just way too weird. Like you can talk, like you said, you can talk hours about how good it is, or talk about hours how bad it is. You could say everything's bad in the game, yet still be drawn back to it. I don't know. It's addictive.
Yeah, like Cobra
You want
talks
to see
about that a
more
lot.
planets.
Cobra talks about that a lot. He said there's not a lot of games out there that you can put away for a long time and then turn it back on and you're like, why'd I stop playing? Why'd I ever stop playing? It gets you, man,
Yeah.
every time.
Like, I saw this one video. He was talking about actually Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and he was saying like how it can never, no game that can ever be played forever. It kind of saddened me that I can never play. One day I'll get bored of No Man's Sky, one day, and I won't play it anymore. But like, that just seems impossible to me. Like,
It's
this
infinite.
is just such a good game.
As
It
long
just,
as they keep adding stuff, as long as they keep development on it, and they keep adding new biomes, they keep adding new plants and animals and things like that, I don't see the game ever getting old because there's just going to be new shit to look at all the time.
yeah.
Kazuya
But
says, I personally enjoyed the empty planets. As you said, it makes the beautiful planets more special. Yeah, not a lot of people agree with me on that, Kazuya. People love to see a lot of lush planets. I want to see a lush planet once a month. If I see 100 dead planets, a lush one will really turn me on. He also says, I would love to
Hey,
have planets that are... What's up?
so sorry. I'm gonna get off this party chat. I'll be back on here in just a minute. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna get
man.
off.
okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later, man. Kazuya says, I would love to have planets that are so toxic that I can't survive without your exocraft. And then you find an old secret building just for people who stay long enough. That'd be cool. Got Grammy in the chat. What's going on, Grammy? Legendary Grammy.
Yep,
Everybody
Grammy.
check out her
Mhm.
channel. Make sure you like, subscribe. Same thing with
I
Mock
got it.
Tone.
Oh yeah, I got a channel over here. I do. No Man's Sky content. I want to branch out to other stuff, but goddamn this game. Can't stop talking about it.
And every time I watch one of Mock Tone's videos, they get better and better every time. They get more and more well produced every time. It's a great channel. I definitely recommend you guys go sub that channel. I'm sub to it. I watch his videos. So.
Thanks. What I want No Man's Sky not to go down is the same path that Minecraft went down, which is adding so much shit to the game that people just stop caring. Like, I don't play Minecraft anymore. I used to, but not anymore. And apparently they've added so many blocks and just shit that no one asked for that it just got too just easily to update, and they update it like every 2 years or something. I don't know, but they just milked it and milked it till everyone hated it or something. But I don't want them to just start adding pointless, like maybe just new ships for no reason, or new planets and stuff for just no absolute reason. They gotta have a reason for stuff, or people are asking for it.
Right.
But if there's no, if that's not a thing, then they just shouldn't add it.
Well, another thing is that I'm sure the core fan base of Minecraft, they love that there's just a whole bunch of random shit in there. If you think about like what No Man's Sky is doing, they're catering to like every play style. Whether you want to play with your friends or play alone, whether you want to play an easy game with no consequences like creative, or you want a slight challenge but overall a chill ambient game like normal mode, or you want a little bit more of a challenge and you go survival, but when you die, you just restart like with all your shit. Like you do a normal mode, but the game's just harder, or you go permadeath, where if you die, you lose everything. And they keep adding all this stuff to it, but they're like meaningful changes, right? Like everything No Man's Sky does are these meaningful changes that are meant to be attractive to people who want to play a game like this, but their way. And I think that that's really cool. And they started out like that, like, you know, they didn't. There was the one game mode, but after the updates, it started to kind of go that way, and I like that. It got very diverse. Like on the Galactic Consortium, like we have farms. There's a guy. I think it's I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's called like something Corpse. I'll think of it in a second. But he does these permadeath farm builds, like resource builds for people who play in permadeath. Yeah. And like they are insane. And it like you have a person that's like it's PC permadeath, but he's living in No Man's Sky and like the hardest game mode, building these like gigantic farms, and like I don't know how many hours he has in permadeath, but it's just like I've never played permadeath because sometimes normal is hard for me. So.
Yeah. What I like, definitely. They should keep it at right now, but what they got to add on to, like, they've got traveling down. Traveling's awesome. They've got exploring. That's what I mean. And they've got they need to they got to work on fighting. That's a big problem that I find with the game. It'd be cool if I enjoyed fighting instead of veered away from it. Like fighting a sentinel should be fun, but it's just kind of just stupid. There's not really a big prize unless you want zinc, and they're pretty easy to kill unless you want them to call in the backups.
I don't think that, honestly, it was a really big focus at the beginning. I don't think combat was really a big deal. I think that's why it's kind of not great, and it's better than it was when the game first came out. But I think
I'm not saying it isn't.
I think that what they were going for initially was like this being alone and like traveling and all this kind of stuff, and the combat was very secondary. And then I think that they realized fairly quickly from just player feedback that like, hey, we like fighting things also, and having a good combat system would be dope. And I agree. I feel like one, the pirates outmaneuver me vastly.
Way too much. Oh yeah.
And even with like a highly like upgraded ship, I have a hard time. And I can't maneuver like they do. So what ends up happening is I just sit in one spot and then just spin my ship around, shooting at them. Yeah.
Like you see in the trailers, it should be like a chase maybe. Like where they're running away from you, then they got their guy attacking you from behind or something. I don't know. But I don't see how they could have maybe look at Battlefront or something, because see how they do the fighting and see how you could improve on it in a way that is more fun instead of like a chore. You don't want something in your game to be chore-like. You want it to be fun or something challenging for someone that is also still fun.
Well, I never get in a space battle and I feel like it's a chore personally, but I just feel that like it's unfulfilling, if that makes any sense. Like I like to fight in the game. I love dogfighting. It's one of my favorite things to do. But not when I have, let's say, a 30 slot A-class fighter with some badass weapons on it and good maneuverability stats, and there's a hauler that's a pirate that's maneuvering and flanking me hard and doing these like crazy roll bank turns and almost like 90-degree turns, and I can't keep up with him. It just, I think that the ship controls need to be tweaked a little bit. I know it's something that Cobra really agrees with as well, is that the ship controls need to be tweaked with. He wants some more realistic. I disagree, but there's something. They need to figure out what it is. There's something missing, and I can't put a finger on it that would make it better, but they need to do it. Mockzone, have you heard of a group called NMSR? No Man's Sky NMSR?
Like, no, I haven't. What's that?
Grammy, what is that? I can't say I've ever heard of that.
Maybe it's a Reddit page?
Maybe. I know that there's a couple of factions brewing that are like evil, that like they want to like fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
So maybe it's one of those groups. We'll see what Grammy says if she's still watching.
Interloper.
I like watching Grammy streams whenever she plays Warframe. I don't know if you play Warframe, but it's a sick game.
Yeah. One thing I've got a problem with the shadows in No Man's Sky. Like the ones on the planets. There's something wrong with them. Like, why are there shadows at night? That's one question.
Because there's light.
I want answered.
There's light at night.
From what?
You still have shadows at night in real life.
Well, yeah, but that's from maybe a light, so maybe a light outside or something. Because like I've seen live streams of No Man's Sky, and the shadows they'll move with the sun. It looks good, and then they stop. When the sun goes down, they just stop, maybe for a few seconds, and then they just go in the opposite direction, stop, and it's just like a cycle. I feel like maybe if they were to fix that, they should get the planet surface down to as dark as the shadow, and then just not have a shadow at all. Maybe, or maybe it is how you're saying it. There is light at night, but they gotta fix that, because why is it rotating if there is light?
Well, I mean, like, for example, like on my home planet, on my horizon, right by where my base is, God, I love my planet. I just got back to my base. I fucking love it. On my horizon, there's a planet with its moon. And at night, that thing is pretty bright. And, like, it emits light because of the star behind it or whatever proximity the sun is, and it casts a shadow. Like in on Earth at night, you'll often see shadows, like in the woods or whatever.
From the moon.
From the moon, or I guess mainly from the moon,
sense.
probably. Yeah.
It makes sense because the moon it moves, but in No Man's Sky the planets are stationary. So maybe even if there are shadows on a planet, it should stay relatively still until the sun comes up, at least.
Well, the planets aren't stationary, not since the last update, especially. I can sit right here and I can watch this planet dip below the horizon, and I can like track, like I could do like a time lapse, and it'll come right back around again. They move.
They do?
Oh yeah. You can if
I
you
didn't
put
even know that.
Yeah, if you put a beacon down, fly into space, and just sit there and look at it, the beacon will move. I have a few videos that I recorded. I didn't do a live stream, but I took pictures as well. But Hidden Jew Agenda, the first time that he went through a portal to try to find a base near my system, the base was 6 hours from the portal, and he drove an exocraft, and I sat there above the planet watching him move around, like I was in space, like watching him, and the planet was moving, and I kept having to move with it and reposition. The planet was rotating faster than he was driving, so he kept ending up on the back side of the planet, and I kept having to fly around just to track his motion. The planets move all the time.
Geez, well, I mean, like, in space, I get what you're saying, like, it's rotating. I get that. Planets rotate in No Man's Sky. But I mean, like, the planets, the moons should be rotating around the planet, like the moon does, like in the moon in real life. I mean, they did. I do remember hearing that they got rid of that because it confused players or something. After announcing it, people didn't want it because it confused them or something. Maybe they go back in space and can't find that planet they wanted to go to or something. It's cool that the planets rotate from space. That's actually kind of cool, but they should be able. The planets should move as well, I guess. And if they don't move, just have the shadows stationary.
Well, planets that are close together,
Yeah.
move within proximity to each other. I mean, yeah, they don't move in space in relation to a star, because the star is a skybox in No Man's Sky. It's like
Yeah.
a texture or whatever. So that part, but the planets do move in relation to each other within a certain proximity, and you can actually go, and if you're willing to sit there long enough, you can actually watch it happen. Grammy says that NMSR is a player approached her who said that they're a group who wants to start some shit with Cobra's hub. Why would you want to mess with Cobra of all people? He's like the one biggest like uniting factor in the No Man's Sky like community for the most part in terms of like YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
And he gives everybody a chance to go on his show and like shout out their YouTube channels and like voice their opinions. Like, who would want to fuck with that guy? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So that group
One
should definitely
problem.
go somewhere.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be. But I got a few problems with Cobra. I don't have big problems, but I feel like in some of his videos, he forces humor. I don't know if you notice it. I don't know if, but like I don't know. It just feels like he forces some stuff to make the video interesting, and I can get that. But if I were talking to him right now, it'd be a little less obvious. I don't want to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I like Cobra. I like his videos. I'm subscribed to him, but some of his videos, like that one where like loser plays Fortnite, rage quits, then resorts to No Man's Sky. I feel like he's trying too hard, and I like his podcasts more because he's more down to earth when he's talking to someone in live. I don't know. That's my 2 cents. I don't know what you think.
I think things can easily get lost in translation,
Mhm.
and I don't think that he's going for that at all, personally.
Okay.
And that's not because I have a vested interest in saying so or anything like that. But
Mhm.
I think that like for example, I said something on Cobra one time that was taken way out of context, and I got viciously like I wouldn't say like viciously, but I got sort of attacked for some statements that I had made that were intended to
Oh
be a
yeah,
joke.
yeah. I saw that on Twitter. I saw that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's
Mhm.
easy to take someone's words, and depending upon how you receive them will alter how you feel about what they say.
Oh yeah, I get that. Like I'm a fan of Cobra. I like him. I'm glad that he represents the No Man's Sky community in that way. Like like just popular people do. I'm glad he's one of the popular guys. Not some guy who sucks at YouTube.
Or like
Like in that sense,
a guy who doesn't have a motivation to bring the community together. I think Cobra.
he just wants subs and views. You
Who?
know. Well, no, I'm not saying who. I'm just saying a guy who just wants subs and
Oh
views.
yeah. Well,
He doesn't like No
Cobra
Man's Sky.
Cobra has like a golden radio voice, and I think that Cobra suffers a lot, actually, to be honest, from covering No Man's Sky. If you take his personality and his voice and like his ability to do like a show, like a broadcast, like a radio show or podcast or whatever, he's missing an opportunity with games that are played by more people and have more viewers that would
Hmm.
make his channel better with monetization, would bring more subscribers to his channel and get a lot more views. He chooses to cover No Man's Sky because that's what his fans want, and that's the interest that they
Yeah.
have, and I largely respect that because it would be a lot easier to just be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Like,
I
let me
get
make
that.
content
Yeah.
on like what makes me money.
Oh yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, yeah. I'm just glad he's the one who does it, because if he was just doing it for money, he probably would have ditched No Man's Sky altogether. Nothing's happening here. You got a few thousand, but you're not gonna get a million subs from reporting on No Man's Sky. That's for sure.
You're not
That's
the fact that I
yeah.
have 576 or 77 subscribers blows my mind because I started the YouTube channel a
Yeah.
year and a half after the game came out, and all the drama had already happened, and there was already people that were well established, like MZK, Just Jared, L Plays, Cobra TV, like DM21, like Bicycle Walrus, everybody knows, Legacy Zero, like all these guys already had like established channels and like networks, and then here I come up, Panda and Hidden Jew Agenda off a Cobra subcast. We're like, yeah, we should start a YouTube channel, and people actually like watch it. And I'm like, that is fucking cool, like
Yeah, yeah.
it blows my mind. So I couldn't imagine being Cobra having over 30 something thousand subscribers that are coming to your channel for No Man's Sky. It's insane.
I think I remember you saying this earlier in one of our earlier streams, but how you're saying No Man's Sky community is like the best.
For sure.
That guy you bought No Man's Sky for, man, it's cool seeing a guy who's new to the game. The guy who's I just got No Man's Sky, that's his name, which is kind of funny. But
It
you
used
got
to
that
be.
game. That was
Yeah,
pretty.
so I guess what had happened, and they had a private conversation with me that I won't get into about sort of why it took so long for them to get No Man's Sky. Um, well, I mean, I bought it, but the so I kept seeing these posts where they were counting the days that they've been wanting No Man's Sky but were unable to purchase it.
Yeah.
And it got to like 598 days, and at first I thought it was like a troll, and
Mhm.
then I was like, "There's a catch to this. Like, what is with this?" So I started to kind of communicate with the person and like ask them and like kind of pry questions and like talk back and forward, and I got them to add me on PSN. And once we were on PSN, I asked them, I said, "So what's tell me about yourself? What's going on?" And they revealed a couple things to me that were obviously they probably wanted to talk to somebody about it, and they just didn't feel comfortable doing it on Twitter. And I had made the offer on Twitter, and so I think that they were kind of interested in seeing if I would really do it. And so they kind of
Mhm.
shared some things with me, and really kind of painted a picture of like, okay, this person really did, like, this person is really waiting like nearly 600 days to play this game. And I just couldn't imagine, like, I think a lot of us like forget sometimes like how blessed we are with a lot of things. And I
Mhm.
couldn't imagine waiting 600 days for a game I wanted to play.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, it just was kind of hard for me, like, especially when the person like lives in America, and we're talking $60, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, so I made the offer, and I was like, I have two conditions. You take a picture of your shopping cart to let me know that it's there, and I'll send you the codes, and you send a
Yeah.
picture of it downloading. And they were ecstatic, and then they streamed it to their Twitch account. They don't
Oh
have a
yeah.
microphone, so they didn't have they couldn't talk or anything. So they streamed it to their Twitch account the very first time that they played. I posted it on Twitter. People were kind enough to retweet it. Had a pretty good amount of people in that Twitch stream, and
Yeah.
had really great conversations. And we were all kind of reliving that moment where when you're playing No Man's Sky for the first time and you're stuck on your starting planet and you're trying to figure things out and get used to the controls and repair your ship, and then you fly and you leave the planet for the first time, and it felt nice to bring that feeling to somebody, and
Oh yeah.
it was really cool, man.
Oh yeah. No, it's special. Uh, wasn't it because his PS4 wouldn't scan games or something, and he tried like with DVDs and stuff and sold all those games? Because of
Yeah,
that, or was that someone else?
no, same person. There's
Uh,
the DVD drive not working. Believe me, was the least of their issues when it came to they couldn't accept a disc copy of the game, which would have been cheaper, because
yeah.
their disc drive doesn't work for whatever reason. It had to be a digital copy, and the digital copy is
Yeah.
always at full price. And that was one of the things that they mentioned was for some people, it's like coming up with that $60, man. Maybe if I had a disc drive that worked and I could go to GameStop and pick it up used for $16, maybe I'd have the game. But I've got to buy a digital copy. I don't have money to replace my PlayStation. $60 for full price for digital copy is kind of out of the question right now, because I've got more important things that I've got to pay for. And 598 days later, they're still wanting No Man's Sky and they can't play it. And I just, like, I couldn't, another day could not go by. And in all
Yeah.
honesty, like, that, I was going to use that to pre-order God of War. So
Yeah.
I'll just have to wait a little while. But it felt a lot better doing that with it, you know? And
Oh yeah.
that person really deserved it. And they had a good time playing it, so that's all that matters.
Nice. Now it would suck if it came out that he doesn't like the game. I mean, that is.
And
But I'm not
I
sure
thought
that would
about that.
happen.
I thought
Yeah.
about that, and that's okay too. So
Oh yeah. At least he's figuring that stuff out.
yeah, I definitely gave it
But
some thought though.
I'm sure he's watched reviews and stuff, and if he dedicated his full Twitter account to counting the days till he's getting No Man's Sky, I'm pretty sure he knows what he's getting into.
They've been following it. They're aware of the hate and the different things that people have been saying, and I said, you've been waiting for this game for a long time. Obviously, it means a lot to you. Like, what do you find the most compelling about it? Like, what is it about this game that you really want to play? And it reminded me of like conversations that me and Hidden Jew Agenda have had, where it was like,
Yeah.
we don't care about all the other stuff that people are complaining about. It was like, I could be on a planet, get in my ship, leave it, fly to another one, 18 quintillion
Oh yeah.
times, and we were sold. So,
Oh yeah.
Hidden, are you in the chat?
I am, dude. Sorry,
So,
I just
I
didn't want to
mean,
be rude. Just
no, you're
listening.
good. I saw you jump in, and so, um,
Yeah. I remember watching a review of No Man's Sky. Like my friends were telling me not to get it. It's getting bad reviews. This game no one likes. It's got, and I was falling to that. I thought I was watching all those bad reviews, and I don't know what got me to get the game, but there's just one review where this guy, I'd seen some of his other reviews. It's like movies and stuff, and he's super critical guy. He's not gonna give a break to anything. And he like says how it's one of his most favorite games. It's like a card trip to him, and he just loves it so much. It's why I love No Man's Sky. I thought it was gonna be sarcastic or something, but it just totally got me to get this game. And that was probably the best decision of just doing all this. If all these events didn't happen, I wouldn't have had this game. I don't know. It's
How
just
long
always
have
on my mind. I'm always thinking of No Man's Sky. And
I
how long
know.
have you been playing?
it just feels like an obsession with this game and wanting
How
to play it.
how long have Hidden was asking how long have you been playing No Man's Sky since release, or how long?
Um, I got it after release, but I still had the new version, so there was no updates or anything. There was like the little patch notes, but that was all. I
Yeah.
got it like maybe November after it
Okay.
came out,
Okay.
so I'm still kind of, I know what the game has gone through, and it was pretty cool seeing when that update came out. Like every time I do homework or something for school, I just check news, and one day there's a new update and comes out of nowhere. So
Now,
that
one
was
thing I
pretty
didn't talk about that I heard you guys talking about earlier was the fact that do you guys think that that whole hashtag say hello thing helped? And I kind of agree with it. I kind of think that they were like, all right, we might be able to. It was either that or, like you all said, Microsoft may have helped with showing them how to properly maybe advertise something. But I kind of feel like hashtag say hello kind of did help in some small way. And maybe let
Mm-hmm.
them know that hey, maybe we can tell them what's next. You know?
A lot of people think that. I personally don't think so, but I'm usually wrong. A lot of people do think that. I want to go over Grammy's comments real quick because it was in response to the discussion that we had about Cobra. Um, and she says, I don't know the dude who messaged me, but the player says that they were threatened if they said anything, so I'm trying to research the group. Um, I'm part of a few different groups, Grammy, that have spies that can kind of get anywhere and like look at anything. So I'll start that process of getting someone to investigate what is going on with that. And they're pretty good at finding this kind of stuff and nipping it in the bud. She also says, shadows existed in very little light except full dark. I guess that was going back to your shadows comment. The planets and moon move. Yep. The moons go around the planet, or at least they move in different directions when you're flying towards them. We all like what we like. You can't please everyone all the time. Nope, that's true. I agree with you that Cobra gets punished by his fans rather than be like me and do what I like, not listening to fans. Yeah, Grammy just does what she wants. Cobra has too many people that watch his channel to make everyone happy, and I think that sometimes he tries to make everybody happy and it's just not going to happen. And he's doing what he likes by covering No Man's Sky. Like I said, he can cover anything else and get a lot more views and a lot more subs and monetize and make more YouTube money as well as donation money and everything else. So that's how you know that Cobra does the subcast and his show and his channel, because he loves No Man's Sky and the No Man's Sky community. And you don't need any more evidence other than the fact that he can do so much better in so many different areas. Grammy says, you and Hidden have great voices too. I would love to have you do voices for my animation. if anybody's got good voices, it's Hidden. That guy, man, some of these impressions, dude. I had to wait almost a year. Dude, you did the Gek voice on Cobra the other day, and that was hilarious.
Dude, honestly, anytime I ever like hear a moment to use a Gek voice, I'm probably gonna do it.
Do it. Oh yeah, that was a perfect moment.
I have a Gek hauler or freighter right now,
yes,
and I never go to the bridge and talk to the guy because I immediately just want to blow my freighter up. Like, that sound they make is the worst, dude. It is the absolute worst. Oh, the god, it's so bad.
I had a Gek freighter as well. That's why I remember sitting there and I'd be like trying to like hurry up because that's all I heard. I was just like, God, shut up.
What I want like if I were to get one, I'd get a Corvax. I like Corvax. They're the coolest looking.
Yeah, Corvaxes are awesome.
Like, TVs on their head.
They're like they're just cool looking robots. Futuristic.
What? That's funny, Panda.
Dude, like you said, they look like they have TVs on their heads.
Yeah.
And so, I never thought about it until you said it. That's why I'm laughing.
Old school, like one of those old school '90s TVs, like a box TV.
Yeah, they got like a lead tube TV like inside their head, dude.
Oh yeah.
They have like an Amiga computer like built into their face. I just thought that was fucking funny. It got me. Grammy says, I'm not liking the ARG as much as the first time. Yeah, the first couple rounds of it were pretty dope. I think it's because they went by quicker.
Oh yeah.
Because
this is going to be a long ARG. They're going to have to distract us for a long time because
yeah, we still got what four or 5 months.
Oh yeah, so it just hasn't picked up yet. They're still trying to.
They said that they've got surprises. So like, what if, since they didn't tell us a date, what if a surprise is to not drop the next one, but like drop something of like maybe one tiny bit that like goes into next. Or do you think that they would just hold off and just drop everything?
I think they're gonna drop everything at once. I think the day that it's available for Xbox One, we're getting that update. Like right off the bat.
Oh yeah.
Right now, that's all we're waiting for.
Mhm. I mean,
I loved it.
Personally, that's what I think.
I loved it when Sean Murray posted the picture of the letter on his Twitter. The one that said, please add No Man's Sky to Xbox or something.
I love that, yeah.
Yeah.
He hung on to that. You could tell that meant something to him. To have hung on to that letter like that.
Oh yeah. And it's like you never heard of a game that gets released on a different console like 2 years after it was released.
Um,
I've never heard of that before.
Coswalt says so. Cobra is possibly getting a batch of Atlas passes. He said in the last morning show. Yes. So he's going to be doing a giveaway potentially with those. It's not confirmed yet because he's relying on another entity, as he says, to
Oh
hook him up
shoot.
with them, which likely is Hello Games or Allison Smith or somebody.
Dude,
So
if he's giving out Atlas passes, I didn't get mine. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
mine
and
got lost in the
and
mail.
I
Like,
remember Hidden. Me and you were working on the ARG together. Like you made the wheel, the cipher wheel, and like all kinds of stuff. Like it sucks so
yeah,
bad you didn't
dude.
get one. Cobra should definitely hook it up.
Oh yeah.
Because you've been a fan of Cobra since like dude, Hidden's been watching
Dude, I
Cobra
remember
like since day one.
Cobra
Oh
used to
really?
wear a white. Cobra used to wear a white mask that had 3 triple X's on his forehead, and he was just getting into YouTube, and he there for a long time just wore the mask, and then one video he's like, I'm thinking about taking it off and revealing myself, and then he finally did, and No Man's Sky started, and then once No Man's Sky started, he like latched onto that, and then boom. And when I heard about the game in 2013, I started immediately looking up videos on it because I saw it in a Game Informer. So I was like, oh shit, and uh, came across Cobra. Yeah, been watching
Yeah,
Cobra
yeah.
for a very long
I
time.
love what I love to do on my free time is go back to the old trailers and the old um interviews and just watching them because in my mind, instead of speculation, going back to those, that's what's gonna show you is either it's getting added in the next update or an update after that. It's showing you what they want in the game and they're gonna implement it somehow. And even more than just what they want to implement. But if you want to know what's in the next update, it's pretty freaking obvious. Just go to the old interviews and the old trailers, and you'll see
Every
what they want to add.
everything has been a clue the whole time. Every update has
Yeah,
added a feature that you knew is going to get expanded on. Every uh, Hidden. You remember when we made that video about the different things that Sean Murray promised, where he promised that he was going to add. This is before the game even came out. He said we're going to be working on No Man's Sky for a long time. There's some features I'd like to bring in. It was in the press kit. It was in the pre-release press kit, and he mentioned 3 features: base building, multiplayer, exocraft, and we got all 3. So, and if you listen to those interviews carefully, there's no reason why people should have been disappointed when the game came out, because you knew exactly what you were getting. I never felt like I was swindled or that something was missing or anything like that, because he said the game's not going to have everything when it ships, and we're going to be working on this game for a long time. And if you heard anything else, then you were dropping acid way too hard that day. And Kazuya says, "Sorry guys, I gotta go. I still want to join the stream
oh,
one day,
see ya.
dude. I would love to
Dude, just
have an international
add
co-star up in
either
here.
me, Panda, or Hidden. Just add us on PSN. Mine
Yep,
is mock_tone. It's pretty simple. Just look at my channel name and just go add us, and maybe you'll join in one time. Talk to us without being stuck in the comments.
yep.
Yeah,
We
we
always
we
do an
actually
open
enjoy
chat
it.
party, and we love for
Yeah.
people to come in here, and it helps keep us, keep the conversation going and give us something to talk about. And uh, Kazuya joined the Hidden Panda Show as a subscriber after an episode of Cobra TV, much like how me and Hidden Agenda became friends. So I would love to have Kazuya in the voice chat sometime soon. Cuzwalt says, I told the player to contact you. Oh, okay. Cuzwalt, why would he be? Oh, kind of covered that. You know, no, kind of covered that. Cuzwalt says, cool. I was just wondering his source, and I hope he gets you guys a pass. Yeah, Hidden Addenda, if anybody deserves one, it's that guy. He's been watching Cobra since day one. He's been following No Man's Sky. He's one of the biggest fans. Got almost 1,000 hours in the game. Um, Cause Walt says my jaw sort of dropped when he said Grammy, and then everyone moved on from it. I was like, what? Grammy, good night, and thanks for coming to the chat. Appreciate you stopping by.
Good night, Grammy.
You're always
Yeah.
welcome,
See you,
and we
Grammy.
love you.
Yeah. One thing I wish they were to fix, or at least just make better in No Man's Sky, is the 1D texturing, where where there's no backside, like leaves or um smoke. Like if you go to photo mode, it's really obvious, but like if you go to photo mode, you find gas leaking out of a fallen spaceship, or you go up to a portal and it's got that nice blue glow around it. You rotate the camera and you'll see all the smoke rotating with it. Nothing stays still, even though everything's
It's
paused.
Nope. You're right. It's a two-dimensional effect. So
Yeah,
and it rotates around the camera perspective. So whenever you move around it, it's always turned to face you because it's a two-dimensional. There's a game company that you guys should look up, and I don't know if Hidden's seen this before or not, but if you guys haven't, you really should check this shit out. It's a company called Euclidean, like Euclid Galaxy, Euclidean,
yeah,
and they make graphics instead of polygons. They use billions and trillions of atoms, individual atoms, circles.
hmm
And the reason is because for some reason on a computer, the computer handles those atoms much better than it handles a polyagonal, polygon or whatever. So I forget how the guy explained it, but you can get like photorealistic graphics by just having like trillions of these things like occupy a space, and it's much
yeah,
easier on the computer's processing power. And in Australia or wherever it is that their office is at, they have an arcade that has like these screens that wrap around you, and you put on
hmm
this like a holographic like headset thing, and they generate a world around you, and you can fight and interact and all kinds of stuff, and it's pretty cool. They do a lot of things, but they get a lot of hate because people don't think that like what they're actually doing is like real. But they actually have an
yeah,
arcade in Australia that people visit where their games can be played. They're like a real legit game developer. Only one other game developer has said something nice about the company, but you guys should look into it. It's called Euclidean, and I think that
Euclidean.
Euclidean, and I think they're going to change the way that games are made because you don't need as powerful a computer to generate the graphics as you do with polygons. Like they've got really good videos that explain it because I don't speak that language, and I'm doing a really bad job right now. Um, Coswalt says, at some point on the No Man's Sky roadmap, I want to see and fly near real gas planets, and I want to see supernovas. In comments, Hidden, did your zipper blow out when you heard that? Because me and you talked
Dude,
about that.
dude, literally, I've just pushed the roof off my house.
Hey man.
Holy shit. that, is, that is hilarious. Yeah, dude, gas giants. Cuswall, I don't know if you heard the part of the conversation earlier, like if you've been watching since the beginning, but when it comes to gas giants, this is I've me and Hidden have looked this up and verified this. The No Man's Sky procedural generation engine is capable of doing gas giants and creating gas giants. Sean Murray has confirmed this himself, and he said the only reason that they weren't in the game is because, from the standpoint of what they thought the player would enjoy, they thought they thought it was important that the player be able to explore every planet in the game, and that they felt that they would be cheating the player out by having gas giants that they couldn't land on and walk around on. Obviously, we think that he's wrong about that, but that was kind of his mindset going in. So No Man's Sky's procedural generation algorithm can create gas giants and ringed planets, and that's confirmed by Hello Games and by Sean Murray directly. So we may
And
see
I would
that in this
almost,
next update.
right, I was gonna say, I would almost bet that that's what we see.
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
planets. Like that would be dope.
I'll tell you what, it wouldn't surprise me at all if that's what we saw.
Oh
I
yeah.
wouldn't be surprised either.
Hey guys, I missed the first part of the show, but that's awesome. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, like, I think that we're gonna see that. It was possible from the very first vanilla version of the game 2 years ago almost. So, it's just a,
If
a
Yeah,
question of implementing it.
Panda
they
found
should,
some information about what No Man's Sky's engine can do, and it's very awesome to hear the stuff that it can do, and to wonder why it's not in there now. But I think all that stuff, like we're about to get some serious shit in No
Like
Man's
for
Sky.
like
I
one of them, for example, not to cut you off, Mock. I'm sorry,
No,
but
no, no.
just
no,
to
it's
kind of
okay.
one of them, for example, is that the water in No Man's Sky is possible in terms of moving flowing water with the Havoc engine. The issue is that if so originally when they were building the worlds in No Man's Sky, as you approach the planet, which obviously is round, the map would flatten out, and then you would essentially land on a flat terrain that they would essentially simulate to seem like a planet, like a round planet, because most games are built on a flat terrain and positioning is easier and calculating position is easier on a flat plane. But they said that the hardest thing to do is actually to make the planets round, but that's what they needed for the player to have the flow of traveling from space directly to the planet and knowing that the planet is round and a completely round planet from all the way around from where you're standing, and they project things onto the planet. So you'll put a beacon and fly to the other side, and like they have to project to that side, which is difficult on a round object, and especially if that beacon is on another planet on the back side. The, so the issue that they had was getting the water that was like if it was flowing down a ravine, for example, or down an incline, and finding the position for the effect all the time in relation to where the player is on a round object. And that was very difficult for them to pull off, and that's why you don't see that. So the Havoc physics engine could do it, but the problem was with positioning the effect in relation to the player on the world on a round map. That they thought that they might have some issues where the water would just appear to just flow into midair and shit like that. But the core part of the system can do it.
Oh
Isn't that
yeah.
kind of crazy that we were inches away from having flowing water in the game, but they couldn't make it work?
Oh
But
geez.
guess what? They probably have now.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they have.
We got bigger
No,
team.
for Xbox to even consider taking it and selling it, because this is you gotta think like Xbox has to make that decision too. You know, like, they don't just get the offer and they're like, sure, cool. No, they have to look at the product and they have to be like, yeah, this is worthy enough to come over. And for that should be the biggest sign that this update is going to be hella good, guys.
Yeah,
The
how
fact that
Oh
it's
yeah.
great
going
is it
over to
that
a whole nother console.
Xbox, like, dude, Xbox knows what happened with the release of No Man's Sky. They knows what happened with the launch. They know about all the controversy. They know about all the hate. So does 505 Games, and for them to have agreed, 505 Games to have agreed to distribute the retail title, and for X
Right,
Games or for Xbox to have agreed to allow it on their console, they,
right.
they Sean Murray's had to show them things. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
think I think that what like for Xbox and 505 to be like all the bullshit aside with everything that happened before, let's go ahead and forget that. We need this on our system. Something is coming, and I'm afraid to overhype stuff because I know how I can be with the tinfoil. But I think that we should be
Well,
hyped. I think something major is on the way.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Something.
it's probably killing Hello Games to not give it to us right now. Like
Oh
you
yeah.
know, the office, like God, these people can just play this.
I
And
feel
that
like
still blows my mind. Think about that. We have a version right now of No Man's Sky that's pretty good, but there's a better version out there somewhere in the world right now. Doesn't that
oh
torture you?
yeah. Well, it doesn't torture me that much because to me, I know I'm gonna get that version. It's just
Right.
like Christmas, you really want to know it, Yeah, you really don't. You want to see the final version. You want to see the final cut of what they released. If they release it now, it's not going to be finished. If they tell you what's happening, it's just not going to be as much of a surprise as it would if they did just tell you all the information what was going on. That's why I like them being a little secretive. It just gives a little mystery to what's happening. Like some game developers, they'll share everything that's happening. They'll share, oh, well, we're gonna add this and this and that soon. We're gonna try to fix this and that. But it's just kind of cool. Like our community is thinking about what's gonna happen. We want to know what's gonna happen. Yet we're just speculating. We're looking at the details, the small things that could be put in. It's kind of fun. It's a community activities that we get to do with each other, kind of, and that's what I like about it. You know, I
Hold
want
on,
to know
guys.
what's.
We got Remus 2002 in the chat, and he says, "No Man's Sky?" Question mark. They should at least give us communicate more. They should at least give us clues. Hold on, let me address this. Remus, I've seen you several times in the chat, and I just want to say that they have communicated. Sean Murray in one day has tweeted 4 times. He's never tweeted more times since he slipped out the vaginal canal. Their 505 Games has been promoting No Man's Sky. Sean Murray has been promoting No Man's Sky. They dropped a teaser trailer. Xbox has been promoting it. He shared information with Engadget in all these publications. So definitely they're communicating. I'm going to have a Viking Warlord Remus that ass 2002 times. Totally playing. I know Remus is kidding. Cuswalt says they need to make nanites stored like units and add new need to use add a new need to use nanites. No, you're so right. I feel like all the nanites do is just buy blueprints, and they need to feel more special than that. There needs to be some more unique purpose to them, because you can get blueprints just fucking around in abandoned buildings. So,
Yeah.
you know. But Remus was totally joking about what he said about Hello Games not communicating more. And Remus, I was joking about Remusing that ass with a Viking Warlord. So.
Oh man, getting a little spicy up in here.
Keep it hot.
Yeah. Like, it'd be cool. Yeah, I don't know. Just the next update, I know it'll be big, but it can't be too big. Like, you have to think it that way. It's not gonna be everything you want in the game, yet it's still gonna be a lot that you do.
Yeah,
You know?
it's gonna be huge.
Yeah, definitely. What what do you think, other than the obvious like multiplayer additions, what do you think they might add? Maybe a new story? I don't know. It's a long time to wait. You
I
gotta
think
add
they're.
something else.
I think so. I think they'll add more stuff to the story, which is going to be important.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that. I mean, this update is going to be ridiculous. I think Sean Murray kind of wants to be done with this. Like, I think that this update is going to bring the game to a point where everybody's minds change. Look, we were wrong.
Yeah.
They worked hard. They put out several updates. This game is finally feeling like the game that everyone thought it was going to be. Sean Murray's going to be at ease. He can start working on some other stuff, put out some other projects that they've been working on, some Hello Labs, stuff that they need to get going, and possibly even release a new game. And on the back end, we're still going to get No Man's Sky updates, but just not quite as big. I think that this is the largest that we'll see for a very long time. Remus says, I hope that they are better planets. I agree. We need ring planets, gas giants, and a lot of other stuff. And
Gas giants. What would gas giants do? I want
Check this
if
out.
they
I
were to
already got
add
it.
them, what would it add to the game? What would the
Check
reason
it.
be for gas giants?
visual.
Check it. I got it. I got it right here. Yeah, it's just that, but like imagine flying into a planet and then like just being in a bunch of clouds or like just like stormy
Yeah.
weather, clouds, and you're like,
And
oh
then
shit,
your
gas
ship starts
giants
getting destroyed and you have to warp
destroyed.
away, maybe.
Yeah, like you would back it and be like, oh,
Yeah. Oh crap, not going there. That would be
Hey,
right.
cool to add.
Or if you just want to fly into a gas giant and just fly around a bunch of clouds and just be like, oh, this is what it's like, then that'd be it. But it needs to still be there because that is its you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Or gas giants, you already have a atmospheric harvester. So what if they have like an atmospheric harvester you can put above a gas giant and collect that gas from that planet to craft something or to use for something?
Oh yeah. Definitely, yeah. I
um,
think
One and just putting like a little harvester above the atmosphere and letting it do its thing.
orbit. I think um what they should add is some sort of like dirt to your ship or some sort of, because your ships, it's like they went, I've said this before, but it seems like they went through like 20 freaking car washes before, like just all the time. They're always so clean and it just annoys me. Like you go through so much, your ships, a little dirt, just a little rust there, here and there, and it's nothing really major. You went through dust storms with it, you crashed into asteroids, and you went through galaxies with it, and looks like you just got it.
and you're
I,
like,
I wish they
missing
would change.
paint, and like you need to use some of the money that you make in the game to like improve the paint. There's there's not enough in the game to spend your money on besides like freighters. Um, while we've been streaming Mocktown, because I started the stream with you with 123 million units, and just
Yeah.
in the time that we've been playing, I'm now at 193,807,000,
Wow.
and most of that came from one particular farm that was built by somebody in TOG. So, if anybody wants coordinates to that that's watching the stream or wants to know like different like portal addresses to different farms, so you can go like make like just a shit pile of money in No Man's Sky. Download
Mhm.
Amino and go to the Galactic Consortium, and there's a data bank, and we've got farms in there from a lot of the different communities, including the Amino Hub, TOG, and then obviously the Galactic Consortium subreddit and Amino page, and user submitted stuff as well. So I went to one farm where I'm pretty sure I built probably 45 heat capacitors, which I then used to make circuit boards and made almost 70-something million units in basically one big farm trip. So anyway, I just wanted to say that people are out there broke in No Man's Sky, and there's just no reason to be broke in No Man's Sky. So if you want to get rich,
Yeah.
I bought a $20 million boat, and I didn't even touch it.
how much was it?
20 million?
Oh, there's no way it was 20 million. If you bought a freighter for 20 million, I'll punch myself in the balls.
That was probably
somewhere
before
around
1.3. Because
It's
before
only
1.3.
It was 20 something. It was like 200
Oh,
something
because
million.
you had another freighter and you traded it in, so the difference was like,
That's what it.
okay.
Okay, yeah. I remember it being somewhere around there.
Okay, so what galaxy am I in? It still doesn't say.
Not even on the galactic map?
No, where would it say if it did? Yeah.
Hayden, do you know, somebody in the chat, let us know where it would actually say what galaxy you're in. I've never left the Euclid, so I don't really know what to look for.
Oh.
Oh, Remus said you could harvest special gases, maybe, so he's right there on the same page as you, Hidden. Coswalt says danger of strong gravity pulled into the planet. If you could steer and pulse, I have not heard this idea. Big fucking shout out to Coswalt. I have never heard this proposed ever. But let's imagine that you could steer while in pulse drive, and you're flying past a gas giant, and its gravity is pulling you in, and you have to fight yourself out of the gravity of the planet. The planet
Ooh,
can
or else,
literally
or else the
draw you.
gas giant. Yes, but that gas, if it does draw you in, you're fucked. Like you're dead. Like that'd be a way of dying.
Yeah, you'll burn up in the atmosphere, or like you'll lose control, or I mean something. Like you can
Yeah.
actually feel the effect of it pulling against your ship when you travel by it, and you can't get too close to it. Like that would be tight.
And
I've
your
never thought of that.
controller starts vibrating like a freak.
Yes.
And
Yes, I love that. Oh my god, you guys are killing it right now. That's fucking dope as fuck.
oh yeah.
Um,
So anyone got an idea of how to find where I am?
I'm thinking about your discoveries, but I'm sure you've already checked that.
I'm about to fly into space and look at my galaxy map and kind of see. Um,
Okay.
Remus says, faction wars, anyone? Sean Murray did talk about factions in No Man's Sky, and I think that rather than them create factions, and let me know if you guys disagree, I'd love to hear your opinion, but I think rather than them, and you guys in the voice chat as well, I think rather than them create factions like what I thought they probably originally intended to do, I think that when they incorporate a better version of multiplayer in this next update, I think that
Yeah.
they're gonna allow user created factions,
Oh yeah.
and we'll go to war with each other, sort of thing. I mean, at least that's what I think.
Do you guys think
That'd be
PvP
cool.
is
Yeah.
coming?
What was that?
PvP. If it
You guys
does
think
happen,
PvP is coming?
I'm not gonna take part because I don't need PvP. I'm not a big fan.
Right.
You
But
know
like
how
other than that, like it might happen. Like
you know how
it's
good
just like chance.
of friends that me and Hidden Jew Agenda are. I'm on Cobra TV and I'm talking about how fuck PvP. I don't want to see it in the game. PvP's trash. So Hidden
Mhm.
comments in the comment section. He goes, "I'm okay with PvP because I'm a man." So now I'm on the live Cobra call, okay, on the subcast, talking like in person.
No, I said I want PvP. I have chest hair.
I have chest hair, that's it. And I was
It's even more when you
absolutely
say it.
emasculated. So then I'm sitting there on the subcast, and I'm like, no one's going to take me serious anymore. My manhood has been stripped. And then to make it worse, he later gets on the call with me. So I have to be like, oh, hey, Hidden, what's going on? How's those chest hairs growing? I'm, I'm fucking around now, but PvP, I suck at those kind of situations, so PvP would be hard for me.
Oh yeah. Hey, you guys know the what's it called? The Explorers Edition spaceship you get with that,
Yes.
yeah, that spaceship. I got the coordinates from a portal to get that spaceship that
No
they found in the game, and I got the spaceship. Um, I can
shit.
post the cords on Twitter.
Yeah, I would like to. I would like to have that ship.
Yeah,
I've been trying to find it, but I
it's
didn't think it was out there.
not exactly the same, but it's definitely
But like,
like
got the
in
wings and stuff.
color.
Right.
In color wise, it's a lighter red, and there's still the gray and red though. It's pretty cool because like I'll s- I'll
What, the
send
special
you the
edition chip?
chords,
Yeah.
the Alpha Vector,
Oh, so
the
sick.
Explorers Edition ship. Totally got that. That's when my streams ended trying to find it, but like it's pretty cool when you do.
Oh, while you guys are talking about that, real quick, here's a hint for anybody that watches this later, by the way, so that you don't accidentally fuck up and overwrite somebody's base. If you don't have a
Hmm.
base or you don't care about your base and you want to go to a portal somewhere and like what Mock Tone's talking about and find a specific ship, in order for you to do that, your ship has to come with you. So you have to portal to that
Yeah,
planet, claim a base, portal back home, then go to a terminus, and then take the terminus there, and your ship comes with you. That's all good and well, unless somebody
that's
has a
what I
home,
did.
unless somebody has a base on
Yeah.
that planet already. If you're worried about it and you're concerned that you might override somebody, all you simply have to do is go into your options, turn base sharing off. when you turn base sharing off and you go through the portal and claim a base and do your thing and get your ship and fucking do whatever you gotta do, the next time you save and turn the game back on, then turn base sharing on again. That way you didn't fuck anybody's thing up. But like you
What
gotta
I
turn
did,
base sharing off.
what I did is I was scared. I wanted to get the ship so badly. I was like, I'm gonna go through the portal, get a base, but this is pretty public and people want the spaceship. So what if there's a base there already? I mean, I can't risk that. So I turned off the full fucking internet connection. I just did that and I went through and just claimed the base.
There you
Then I
go.
just fucking did that. I got the spaceship. I was happy. Ended my live stream. It was just a good fucking day.
I'm looking through the menu here. I don't know how you can determine what galaxy you're in, so I've got no answers for you. That is a really good
Yeah, there's
idea. Just turn your internet off.
to be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah.
I've never even thought about that, like where to go look for that, you know.
Yeah,
I
I've
mean,
never
like,
left the Euclid, so it's not an issue I've ever had to deal with. Um,
yeah, you're in Euclid when you're in Euclid.
Right.
right. The and I'm being serious, guys, about the whole base thing. There, a lot of the people that run these communities that share these farms with people because they want to help the community, like whether it's get resources or money or whatever the case is. And then you'll have players that come in, they fuck everything up, and they'll override a base. Some do it on purpose. It's a big problem. Just don't be that guy. Try to like
Yeah.
not override people's shit. And there are ways
Oh
that you
yeah.
can go about traveling throughout the universe by portal and claiming bases without fucking up other people's bases. So just look into what those methods are, and be courteous when traveling throughout the Euclid galaxy. But yeah, that's just
Oh
my two
yeah.
cents on that.
I totally agree. There's definitely those douches that just fucking mess everything up. But
Yep.
like when I was in creative mode when I wanted this alpha vector, I went to creative mode and I got it there. Um but then I totally mucked it up by like I got stuck in like a space station or something, so I had to reload a save or something, which you gotta fix clipping through walls and stuff. But like I had to get the ship again, go to a portal and do all that stuff because I probably went too far back. And when I came back to the place, some guy claimed the planet apparently, and I wasn't connected to the internet when I went the first time, so I couldn't claim the home base. Even if I reloaded the planet, it wouldn't be there. I guess I didn't think of base sharing, but if I knew that, I wouldn't been stressed out about doing it in a normal mode, because creative mode, it doesn't really matter if you get a spaceship in creative mode. It's not your spaceship. You didn't work for it. You didn't buy it with your own money. That it's not worth it in creative mode. So I want everything in normal mode because then it's more special, you know.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. So I got it because I turned off the whole fucking internet connection, which is smart. I didn't think of base sharing, so now I got the spaceship, and I'll send you the coordinates so you can get it as well, and you'll probably be smarter instead of just turning off the whole internet connection.
Oh, and we've got in the consortium data bank, we've got like squid ships and all kinds of different exotics that you guys can like go look for in there too. So just kind of check that out. But if you want the
Squid
vector
ship?
ship, Mocktone's got
Yeah.
the answer for you. Cuzwalt says,
Okay.
"What about those circular portal-looking things on those exotic planets, like the ship portals, hidden? What are your theories on that? I think that in this next update, those are going to be portals to take your ship through."
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else it could be.
What portals?
They're kind of tall and they're circular. They're kind of hard to find.
Oh,
They're
those.
like-
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
they're usually in M-class systems, and yeah, they're interesting to say the least.
They're rare. Like, I remember they didn't even have them. I remember, I kept on watching these like limited edition things where that art book and it shows like the different guns you can have and stuff, and that structure was in it. It's not. It wasn't in the original release of the game. I was like, why would they have a full model of a thing and not use it? Now that we have it, it's just like what else do you use it for? Is it harvest stuff on the planet? Is it a portal for your ship? Who knows?
Yeah, it's I feel like we're gonna find out what the fuck those are, and it better be cool. It's kind of like, you remember when the game came out and they dropped the portals, but they didn't do anything, and then all of a sudden they were activated like in an update. I think that those like ship structure portals, they're gonna get activated in
Mm-hmm.
this next update, and I hope that they do something interesting. I just want to give a big shout out in the chat to Rain First. Haven't heard from them in a while because we haven't streamed in a while. So Rain First, welcome back. They said, I wish that you could turn off all networking inside the game. I want to be able to not see comm stations or other people because it makes the game lag a lot. That's very true. I think that in this next update, Rainforest, they're going to optimize that so that it doesn't happen as bad. But I'm going to be streaming the Great Nomad race tomorrow, and I'm going to be in Race A and Race B. And I went to the planet, sort of secret, we're not allowed to give out the portal code or anything, but I went to the planet that's going to be on, and Boyd Gaming built an amazing structure there, but the game freaks out when you go to it, and there's already been reports that when you have a lot of people there, because it's going to be 16 people in that lobby, 15 of them racing, one of them viewing the race from above, and it lags pretty hard, and I hope that they really fix that problem.
Oh yeah.
Rain says that they've been there since E3, mechanical rings only on exotics. Yep. Cuzwalt says, to know what galaxy you were in after you warp to another system, once you drop out, it's under the name of the system. Ah, okay. That's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
shitty that you've got to do it that way, but I guess that works.
Cool. I guess I'll have to do that now. If you guys want to see my home planet, you can just go to my stream because it's fucking beautiful. I'm, I, I thought of like for my base, you know how those aliens you put and you trap them in your house. It's just kind of weird, these random aliens in your home. I just made little like places for them to live, just so it seems like they're actually living instead of static stuff. I don't know, why am I bringing that up? What, why do they do the 1D stuff? Do you guys know why they do the one-dimensional stuff that just follows your screen?
It's cheaper. It's cheaper on
Cheaper?
it's cheaper on the computer system. So, it when you hear like certain things are really expensive to do, like full three-dimensional textures, like when you're in a cave and they have like those pillars of like rock that you can mine.
Mm-hmm.
That takes a lot of resources when the game is generating, but you only see those structures in caves a lot of the time. Now imagine that like every bush, every blade of grass, every smoke, every was all three-dimensional, you know, polygons and shit like that. Like it would take a lot to make that run, especially if you're using a procedural gen system that like isn't fully fleshed out. People forget that like when No Man's Sky went into development, there wasn't really a lot of procedural generation happening at this level. Now there is.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh yeah.
what is it called? Horizon Zero Dawn used a lot of procedural generation. Um, Ghost Recon Wildlands used a lot of procedural generation for like environmental stuff. There's a lot of big games out there that, believe it or not, are actually using procedural generation. And then you've got Elite Dangerous, which uses it to an extensive degree. You've got Star Citizen, which uses it. So everybody's kind of been using it now. But when No Man's Sky first went into development, there was hardly anybody doing anything like this. I think that like Hello
Yeah.
Games sort of have this figured out. And like I said, like when it comes to like this next update coming, a lot of these like little cheap effects and things that we see, I think that they're just gonna get. I think that it's just gonna get better. Like everything's just gonna get richer. The textures are like. I mean, one of the first things that me and Hidden Jew Agenda noticed after the update, like hit, and I know you're gonna remember this like it was yesterday, was the surface of planets. Totally different.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Just the hi-fi textures and stuff, the high fidelity textures, like
And
yeah,
um, that's one thing I guessed on when Atlas Rises was coming out. I told Panda, I was like, we're probably gonna see a graphic update. And he kind of just he was like, remember that?
yeah.
After
I
watching
didn't,
GDC and talking textures, I was like, bro, we're about to
yeah,
see some seriously cool shit.
I didn't think that they could get really much better than they already were, and I was fucking dead wrong.
Which I think we're gonna see another graphic update. Not much of
Yeah,
one, but like I feel
they
like we're
they
gonna
got
see some cool
they got
graphics.
good graphics right now. Some things definitely can be worked on, but right now they definitely
Holy
have most things figured out, and what they gotta get better on doing is actually what to do with those graphics and how they look. Because planets, you get out of your spaceship, you walk 20 meters, and you've seen the full planet. I
right,
mean, in a
I want
sense.
more biomes on planets, multiple biomes.
On the same
Yeah.
planet, like on one
Right, right.
side you've got like cold weather and like snow, and maybe then on another part of the planet you've got like a desert. That would be really interesting.
Well, I have a problem with that, because then why go to a, well,
Well, because not every planet has to be like that.
yeah, I guess.
It'd be very few of them. Like for example, in our own universe,
Mhm.
probably there's a lot of planets like Earth, but not like fucking in every single solar system in every galaxy.
Yeah.
It's like it can, you know, it can still be rare and not feel cheap, and you know,
I want I want to interact with objects that you use to build houses. Like, which one thing that I find freaking weird, which is you just spin chairs. You should be able to like maybe sit in them or something. Like, it may not really work with the game, but if beds like you sleep in till the morning, maybe nights are more damaging and you gotta sleep in your bed to wait
Yeah, I
through
kind
the
of wish
night,
that
kind of
too.
like Minecraft.
I see where you're going with that, and I totally agree with
Yeah.
that. Like, if there was more stuff to interact, because like there are games out there where you can just go to sleep and pass time by. Like, if I don't want to sit there all night on the planet, I would just hit the bed and then time speeds up.
Or if you're on a one of those harsh planets and you don't want to live through each night just because you want to get to 10 on the in your menu, so you just sleep through the night and get through that, make it a little bit easier for yourself. But I do see the problem because they're trying to make this a full um they'll have to change it if you do go into multiplayer mode though, so that wouldn't be possible if you wanted to sleep through something.
also
But
Rain first clarified something real quick with those rings.
yeah.
They said only info on the mechanical rings is the Sentinels use them and their errors in the simulation. So it does seem like they're used for some sort of long distance travel across the whole galaxy. Or maybe they can be used in between galaxies. That'd be really cool, Rain. Remus says, looking up farms in the Tranquil Galaxy, be right back. Cuswalt says, does TOG work with any hub in Eisentime? To be honest, I'm not sure. I recently just joined the TOG, and I'm not as active in that community yet because I've been doing a lot of projects with the Amino Hub and the Galactic Consortium, and then some stuff with NMS Cafe. But I think so. Also, if you go to the Galactic Consortium page, we have some farms that are in Eisentime. They're specifically listed in Eisentime, and one of them is a really goddamn good one. I want to say, like, each visit, you'll get like 30 mil out of that visit or something. And the base is like a 3-minute walk from the portal. So, you might want to go check that out.
Also advise people making quantum processors.
That's the money ticket. Rainforest says most games still use 2D dimensional textures such as trees, fire, and grass. Yeah, a lot of games, but Mocktown does have a good point. A lot of games do use 2D textures, a lot, but for whatever reason, I haven't put a finger on why, they're very obvious in No Man's Sky, um,
Oh yeah.
especially in
Like,
photo mode. It doesn't bother
oh
me.
yeah.
I know why it's like that, but yeah, it's really obvious in this game.
It definitely is obvious because there's definitely other games where it's not as obvious. Like, I don't really know other games. What other games has that?
Almost all of them will have it. The, the thing
Yeah.
is that you're in a locked camera with most games. Like your camera's physically locked in that position.
Hmm.
So the game has a lot of control with how you see a certain angle. Whereas in No Man's Sky in photo mode, the everything is procedurally generating and positioning, which is difficult, and doing so in relation to your perspective on the planet. We kind of talked about that a little bit. Like, they've always had a hard time with that. Sean Murray has stated that on several occasions, and especially in the GDC talk last year, he talked about that a lot. Like, casting out something in the world and then having it feel believable on a round object. I think it has to do with how No Man's Sky is built, why it seems really obvious, but
Yeah.
I'm not technically savvy enough to really talk on that. But I think that it might have something to do with the fact that all the planets are actually round, their whole entire planets that are round, and everything that when you walk around them is procedurally generated, and so you'll get these little glimpses of things that maybe they didn't intend for you to see that way.
Yeah. They can't. Nothing's that planned. Like, you'll see maybe grass floating in the air because it's not connected to the ground and it's not lazy. It's just unintended.
Yep.
Because it's not like a fully customized map. What I think they should do is, I think this is something with Elite Dangerous or Star Citizen or something, where they handcraft some planets, but not all of them. Like, we've seen what,
Ooh.
yeah, just like, a lot of planets are procedurally generated, but make maybe 100 of them that are handcrafted by Hello Games themselves, and see
Yeah,
how,
that's procedural.
and just make it like a hidden gem, like maybe the Gek planet from the Gek lore, they handcraft that system. They make the planets look totally unique, make everything
Right.
so special.
I
And
love
make
it.
you want to go visit the Gek system, and then go visit the Corvex, the Viking, and then maybe the Traveler
Yeah,
home with the hub.
yeah,
Guys,
definitely.
what if they are doing that? I love that idea. Like, what if they are doing that? Like, there's certain things within the storyline or within the lore or special locations, like you guys have said, where they're handcrafted. And what if
Yeah,
that's something that moving forward that they're going to continue to update the game with, and we may not
By
even
just
always
making
know about it.
yeah, because
Yeah.
that
from
that makes
those
so much sense on
um
why they would be making the game for a long time.
yeah, and from those original kind of gameplay videos, like where it was like leaked, which I don't really get, but like where it was leaked that the planets they said that were totally just random were made by the team. We've seen what they can do by themselves, like handcrafted, so like it'd be really cool to see one of those kind of planets. Or maybe they take that handcrafted one from the trailer and put it somewhere in the Euclid or something, and it'd be cool to come across it. Someone comes across the E3 trailer planet. Imagine that.
Well,
There,
That would be
that would be
really
cool
fun.
if that planet was still in the game somehow. Like, you got to think that when you're making a procedural game that you don't have control over how the planets look, and you're going to have to present this to people to demo and like play and test at conventions and stuff, they sort of had to build those planets because it's the only way that they can control what the person that's playing would see. Um, because they could end up on a planet that's totally glitched out and like fucked up. But how would Hello Games know that if they've never been there before and their
yeah.
bots that they send out to scan things have never seen it? Just catching up on the chat real quick because Rain had a couple comments there. So they said most games still use 2D, so we read that. All I want is filters to stay when I'm in warp. I like using the vintage filter. It makes it look like E3 and I want to play. The vintage filter is the only filter that I'll, at any point, I like playing the game in. And I haven't had to use it lately because I have a 4K HDR TV, and when Dolby Vision HDR is enabled, it gives it like a cinema type color palette, which gives it that like lightly sepia tone, like it tones down the ultra bright colors and gives it that sort of filter. So HDR kind of does that for you, but better than the filter that they have in the game. Cuzwalt says, "I'd like to see actual." You might want to stop working on your roof hidden. Cuzwalt says, "I want to see actual natural weather events, volcanoes, earthquakes, tornadoes, etc." I know we've talked about that a lot.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. Like a volcano.
Well, think about it. That could be part of the surprises that they're telling us, like stuff like that. But then again, I guess it wouldn't be a surprise if we've all talked about it. That'd be something that we hadn't talked about.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool, but that is a lot of work, and it would, if that were to happen, do you ever like get those moments where your PS4 starts heating up real fast and the fan gets louder than the actual fucking TV? And it's horrible. Like, I bet that exact thing would happen if there was a volcano near you, or a tornado, or some sort of like that. It'd be way too much for the system.
No, not really, because those would be planned events. A lot of what's happening why your PlayStation sounds like it's fucking like got emphysema is because the computer system that's in the PlayStation is like building the game in front of you as you play. But if you have certain pre-baked assets that within a certain proximity they just activate, those tend to run better than things that are procedural, it seems like. But again, I don't have the technical savvy, but sounds right. Sounds legit.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, more planned, I guess, but you gotta add some sort of difference to them, because even if it is some sort of animation they made, they've gotta make maybe the lava splash one way instead of the other, or the tornado do this thing instead of that, or something, just to make it feel a little bit different. Or maybe just full out lava planets.
Oh, I have to answer Cuzwalt's question here. So, Cuzwalt says, "Who is streaming the Great Nomad Race again?" I'm in race A and B, Cuzwalt, so I'll be streaming it. Tomorrow, both legs of it, the one that Boyd Gaming has made, and then the other one that I think is Ranger made. So I'll be streaming both Nomad races. But also Boyd Gaming will be streaming it. Cobra is going to be in the race, so Cobra is going to be streaming it. I think Mac Foraday is going to be streaming it. He's in there as well. I think he just confirmed today that he'll be attending the race. So there's going to be a lot of great channels to watch that on. If you want to see the bird's eye view, if you're watching it on a computer, I recommend pulling up 2 browser windows and having Boyd Gaming's YouTube channel pulled up, because he's going to be in the air watching the other 15 racers from the air. And so if you want the bird's eye view, go to Boyd Gaming. But yeah, tons of channels to watch that stream on. But no offense to those other guys, but you know where the best stream's gonna be, right here, boya, on Hidden Panda Show. So yeah.
Oh yeah. No need to the gloater, gloater.
I mean, it's not like our channel is not better than Cobra TV. I mean, we're just way better than that. No, I'm joking. Clearly kidding. Rain says, yeah, Star Citizen has handcrafted planets and hub systems. So maybe in certain hub systems that are designated, there could be handcrafted planets in there. That would be a great call out on that. first Korvac's home world was destroyed, so we couldn't visit it, though. In the lore, it seems the Korvac's planet would look like a hex world. Good point. So, Korvaxia, gone. Is that what it was called? I think that's what it was called, Korvaxia.
That's cool. Oh, yeah.
That sucks, yeah, it was destroyed in the lore, so no go on that, unless
Oh, great.
they,
Oh, come
we
on.
have a time machine. maybe
I
maybe
hate
we
the
could,
Sentinel planets. I'm not talking about you.
What's the
It's
faster
just
way?
saying.
How to do it?
Man, I think, I don't know, the Sentinel planets should be made better
oh
in
yeah.
some way, like walkers walking around the planet, make it like a futuristic sci-fi fucking movie or something like
Remember the trailer when,
Blade Runner.
the portal trailer, when he goes through the portal and there's those sentinel walkers that, like, they just are kind of out there and they turn around, they spot him? Or that one where he's running through the field and you see those sentinel quadrupeds like running like dogs, and like the walkers, like, I would love to just be on a planet and those just be out and about. I don't like that they have
Yeah.
to your wanted
Be
level,
initiated.
right, dictates whether or not they get initiated. It's not that big of a deal, but
Yeah.
it would just be cool to see. Rain First also says almost all assets from those E3 planets are because Rayrod himself told me most of the assets, all he did was add collision.
Collision.
So that you can actually, yeah.
Game.
So they're there, and like I told you before, like Rayrod has basically said that a lot of the stuff that he's been able to do are existing in the game files already and just need to be tweaked a bit to be brought out. Because his whole goal, the reason why Rayrod is doing everything he's doing, is because he wants to bring those E2 trailers to us. You know, or at least to the PC community, because PlayStation 4 can't get no mods. But God, that's horrible English. Can't get no
Right, but
mods.
since that's all part of it, like, if it's all possible, then do you think that in this next update we might see bigger trees and, like, Rayrod looking kind of worlds?
Oh, for sure. If Rayrod can do it, Hello Games can certainly do it.
Oh yeah. Easily. Like, that's what gives me hopes about his mods. It's, if he can do it, Hello Games can do it, and do it even better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's, I'm subscribed to his channel just to see what he can do with the game and what can happen, because there's some stuff that seems like it's impossible, yet he's done it, and now you know it's not, which is pretty cool.
Well, my theory has always been that it's, when it comes to PC, there's a lot more that PC can do that PlayStation can't. Because a lot of people there's a lot of people with PCs that are just seriously powerful. And I think that there's a lot of things that Hello Games can do on PC that they can't do on the console version. And so rather than have a different version for both, they just took away some things so that everybody has the same game. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Basically, so when I play No Man's Sky, I can hear my PS4 through my headphones. That was a comment, because for you guys that missed it, Mock Toad was talking about how loud your PlayStation 4 gets when you're playing No Man's Sky. He said it gets louder than his fucking TV, and Rain said she can hear it through her, or they can hear it through their headphones. With the PlayStation 4 Pro, it's not that bad. But on my PlayStation 4, when I had just a regular PlayStation 4, it was pretty damn awful.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah, it definitely does get way too loud. But it makes sense, because it is a pretty big game for this tiny machine that's on our... in our house. I don't know. It just makes it think if we can make a universe like that in something that's less than a meter big. I mean, you think what the future could come with. Like maybe a game like No Man's Sky, but way bigger and way better, and I don't know, just
Well, that's
kind
why
of cool to think about it.
that's why people like Elon Musk believe we're in a simulation. Imagine
Yeah,
that somebody just has like a really badass fucking computer, and they made us and gave us free will, and like we just don't know that we're a simulation. We think we're real. What is reality? Now,
maybe we're just a bad game of Sims.
yeah, now I've gone full Matrix on you guys, and
Oh yeah.
somebody
What
that's
if?
watching this might be smoking that grass, and now they're tripping
Yeah,
balls.
that devil's grass.
that devil's grass. I
But like,
I partake in
yeah.
the burning bush that Moses saw. Um,
I wouldn't even know what it smells like.
the
Does it smell like weed here?
Rain
Smell
Rain
something.
says the PlayStation sounds like a jet. I swear it's going to take off and fly away. No
Oh
problem,
yeah.
cuz be sure you check it out. Like I said, so the people streaming the Great Nomad Race tomorrow are going to be myself, Mac 4-Day, Cobra TV, Boyd Gaming, and I think that's pretty much all I can say for
And
sure.
during that,
So,
and during that, Zebra's PS4 is gonna take off and become an airplane. 'Cause it's gonna be loud.
exactly.
Oh
I don't know if you
yeah.
guys are picking brackets and like putting some money on this race tomorrow, but your boy Panda gonna win, so you know,
No
play your
doubt about
odds.
it. Just yeah.
Dude, watch me lose so bad tomorrow after talking all this shit. Um,
They need to fix the cars in No Man's Sky. I'm gonna put it out there.
I
The
liked the
exocraft.
launched Sentinels. They were so much harder to fight. Now they're stupid and can be easily avoided. That's really all I ever wanted. NMS is good now, but really in my heart, I can try to deny it, but I just want the game on console to look like Rayrod's or E3. Well, that's yeah. No, I think everybody kind of feels that way. Um, it's getting there. I feel like these like last three major updates and all these patches, and then this next one coming, like this game is a very different game today than it was at launch, and we're everything is going in the right direction. And Rain says, well, that's what Elon was saying. Look at the technology now; it's going to be uncanny valley of realism. The uncanny valley, yeah. I'm waiting for when it's so realistic that it's like a window instead of a game. Yeah, that's a great way to
Yeah.
put it.
Oh yeah.
It's like Rogue One, dude. You remember Rogue One when you know, fire when ready. That guy, he looked pretty
Oh
damn
yeah.
real, dude. Shit tripped me out. I was like,
Oh
holy shit,
yeah.
that's real.
Oh, Tarkin.
Tarkin,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
that guy. That was a
Grand
good
Moff,
accent, by the way. Oh yeah. Fire when ready.
ready. With that like
But
rolls of
what I
Mars.
was talking about with the exocraft is they're toys. It's like it's a toy in the game. If you think about it, there's no damage to them. They're all over the place. One's really slow and you can go without, and one is fast that hops around like a fucking grasshopper. And the other one's just in the middle. It's kind of good, kind of bad, kind of fun, kind of not.
Kind of
Like
good, kind of bad. It's kind of.
it's something. Then there's the big one like I can see how the big one could be like one where you could transport your friends in with, which would be cool. And
Is
just
it bad
like
that I never drive the big one? I just use it for storage space.
Yeah.
it really isn't something that you need. It's too slow. You don't need it. Then there's the fast one. It's got small inventory yet it's fucking fun. It's like
Well,
it's
Nomad.
yeah, the Nomad.
I am
But
at the
yeah,
coolest farm right now. This is called the TOG item farm, and hidden, you might want to come here. Everything that you pick is independently worth a lot of money. They've got albumin pearls, gek nip, sac venom, uh, like just stuff that when you sell it on its own, it's worth a pretty good amount of money. Like this is a dope ass farm.
Oh, nice. Um, they need like a. It was kind of. It kind of took people out. It took me out of the world when they changed it third person for the cars. It's like everything's first person. Everything's first person. Your ship's first person. Cutscenes are first person. Everything. There's no cutscenes, but like still everything's first person. That's my point. And then boom, there's a third person car, and that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I guess in a point it makes sense because of how the cars work, the exocrafts. But other than that, it's kind of out of nowhere.
But
And
this
if they
goes
go with third,
back to what we
yeah,
were talking about with everything being a hint to the next thing. It's like it's like they try things out, and then if it works well, they
yeah,
expand on it. And like we might the exocrafts might be the predecessor to third person mode with ships. And like we said earlier, if Rayrod can get that to work, Hello Games can get that to work. It's just a question of how well. And I think that we're gonna,
yeah.
you know, Sean Murray said that we're gonna be excited. Like there's gonna be some surprises in this update. So
Right,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's what I feel like. We're gonna hit the game and be like, oh my god, this is the E3 trailer, and everyone's just gonna
Yeah.
fucking melt.
Everyone's gonna be fucking moist like
Yeah,
MZK.
I've already tarped my living room all the way to my kitchen.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I
dude,
got every
There's gonna
part.
be, let's just say there's gonna be lots of cleaning on the day it's released.
Hey, I've already got to replace my roof from tonight, so
Oh man.
there's gonna be like every news report like the day after the update is gonna be like
5 houses destroyed in the neighborhood.
300%
Roofs have
spike
blown
in maid
off.
services,
Yeah.
and also
Hotels.
1,000% spike in roof repair. Apparently, roofs just popped
Yeah.
off their houses.
Um, People's electricity bills have gone through the roofs.
Dude,
Oh yeah.
it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think
Like,
that's a. Yo.
way kind of like Ready Player One. I'm thinking 2050 when games in VR will be so. Yeah, dude, the VR like PlayStation VR is like the worst of all the VR. Like HTC Vive and Oculus go like way harder in terms of like the fidelity and resolution, and but still PlayStation VR is still fucking good. But and when I'm in it, it is so immersive and it is so much worth the money that it costs to buy, and it's just awesome. And I could not
yeah, it really
imagine
is.
a VR solution that is like photorealistic. I mean, people would just
One
not
thing,
exit it.
one
I've
thing that
got a.
I really
Yeah.
enjoyed with VR
Say
is
goodnight.
the. Are you guys out? You out?
I'm. I'm leaving. I'm tired. I gotta end this stream. It feels like I'm gonna go on forever. I wish I could stay a little bit longer, but I gotta get some sleep.
Oh no, you're good, man.
Thanks.
All good, brother.
Thanks for having me. Well,
Yeah, no problem.
yeah.
Dude.
Thanks for watching.
Anytime.
See you guys. I don't know, soon.
All
Yep.
right, bro.
Till the next time, dude. Hidden, what were you saying?
The one thing that I have really enjoyed from VR was that Battlefront X-Wing mission that we did.
Oh yeah.
That has been like the funnest thing in VR. I mean, everything I've played is awesome, but that Star Wars, dude, I want more of that.
Like I want a full game like that, like Rogue Squadron, but in VR.
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
That would be sick. I'm gonna get caught up in the chat real quick here. Um, just a couple of comments. So Rain says, which sounds cool at first, but then you realize the amount of control the government would put on stuff like that, where they could control your life and decide that they'd like you in VR instead of real life. Yeah, dude, like those robots in the Matrix do, where you're like in that gel with that thing plugged in the back of your head and you're just a battery. Um, Maybe I went too far with that analogy. Rayrod also confirmed he he didn't 100% make the third person mode for ships, hinting that Hello Games did right. Yeah, he mentioned that there was a pre existing mechanic that allowed him to make that work, which is super exciting.
What
But
do you mean?
so Rayrod said that the way that he got the third person mode to work in his mod had to do with an existing mechanic that was already in the game files. So that's why it works so well when people switch into that third person mode and they're like flying around and shit.
Hmm.
And it works so well is because there was already a mechanic for it.
Dude.
A lot of what he's putting in these mods are things that are there. He's just taking them, tweaking them, adding stuff to them, making them better, and then when you have a PC with mod support, you can do stuff like that. I really think that like that's all stuff that like maybe Hello Games really tried to put in the PlayStation 4 version, but just couldn't optimize it, couldn't get it to work well. And so people who play PC, you've got all these great mods, which really make me jealous. But I get it, and I think third person mode is coming. To be honest, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make sense why it couldn't be there already, or like why it shouldn't even be there. Like, not everybody likes first person stuff.
Yep. Well, and like I don't know if you've seen like the different biomes. Like you've seen the Ray Rod mod trailers and stuff, dude. Like those
Yeah,
different
no, I've
biomes
seen
that he
Ray
creates,
play,
they're
but
gnarly. There was a video that L Plays did where he went to one of the planets that Ray Rod from the Ray Rod mod, and
mhm.
the dinosaur. It was a code, a portal code or whatever, or a location that Ray Rod sent L Plays, and the planet that they went to had the E3 dinosaur. You know, the one that's like walking on the orange grass in
Oh
those
yeah.
trees when the rhino
Hmm.
comes running around. He got that fucking dinosaur in the game. Like he's pulling a lot of assets that like we never got to see into the PC
Right.
version. It makes me very jealous, man.
He got that dinosaur.
He got that dinosaur. Yeah, L Place has a video on it. That dinosaur is running around doing hella dinosaur things, like roaring and fucking walking through trees and shit. Yeah, he got it. And when you see it, the skin of it like looks really good. Like it doesn't look like some bullshit thing that he like rigged into the game. Like it looks like a proper, asset. I mean, it's proper nice, man. Like it's good.
That's what's up. I'll have to
Yeah.
look that up.
And yep, Rainforest is out. It's almost 5 a.m. where they're at, and they're gonna go ahead and try to get some sleep. Yeah, and I don't know if you celebrate Easter, Rain One, but it's technically Easter, so happy Easter. And
Yep.
I would say happy April Fool's Day, but if you're the fool today, then I'm sorry. Uh, get better at avoiding pranks. No, I'm joking. Good night, Rainforest. Thanks for stopping in the chat. Always love having you here.
Yeah, Rain, see ya.
I haven't streamed in a long time, bro. Mock Tone convinced me. He messaged me on Twitter. He's like, "Hey, you want to stream?" I was like, "You know what? That sounds like a dope idea." I haven't streamed it. When's the last time you streamed, dude? Feels like a
Dude,
year.
I don't know. It does feel like that. It does feel like that long.
Feels like a long time. I feel like I'm just like getting my toes wet again, like I'm doing it for the first time. I'm like, fuck. So weird. You've always been the better streamer anyway. So I was glad that Mock Tone was able to jump in and kind of hold the conversation until you got here, because otherwise I'd have just been like fucking not saying anything for like
Yeah,
most of the stream.
I saw the notification. I was like, hell yeah, but I wasn't able to jump on right then. So I knew as soon as I jumped on that I'd be joining.
No, that's what's up, dude. Dude, this base I'm at. If you go back and fucking find this in the stream, dude, this is sick.
Yeah, that Verdesium farm you were at earlier was pretty good.
Oh yeah, they call it. What do they call that now? They don't call it Fervidium anymore.
Oh, that's right. Did I just throw an old school term out?
Yeah, dude, you took it way old school. They call it like fucking hot rock. I don't, I don't know what they I don't know what they call it anymore. Fucking hot rock, dude. Hot rock farm. Fervidium. That's so funny. Yeah, these TOG mega farms are like next level. Like I honestly don't even want to have a farm anymore. Like on my shit. Like I just there's no point. This has it all, dude. Bro, I made like 70 million units, like not even off my own shit. Like,
Whew.
and I'm about
That's
to make,
insane.
dude, I'm about to make more, dude. Like just in this stream alone, I've probably made, like once I go sell all this stuff, I would have made well over 100 million units.
Can you still make like a good amount off of Nip Nip?
Can I what?
Can you still make good money off that?
Let's see.
Off of that Nip?
Nip Nip is worth 17,000 for per plant, so a stack of it's only 88,000 units, so not terribly good. Sac Venom's only 35,000 units. Gravitino Ball's only 41,000 units, and that's per stack, like five piece. Um,
Mm.
the Albumin Pearl's the highest value. A stack is about 100,000, so you need 10 stacks for a million. It's almost not worth it.
Mm.
That stuff used to be a lot more money in Pathfinder.
I bet a lot of money in Pathfinder. Two bills right there. Geknip.
But Geknip, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of sucks that it's not worth more because it had to take a long time for somebody to put together this farm. This is a very extensive farm. And they built it into a skyscraper, dude. It's like 8 levels high.
Jeez.
Yeah, dude, it's gnarly. I just got to the top. I'm gonna count how many levels this is. This stupid amount of levels. Inventory full. I'm like maxed out slots, dude. All my like exosuit slots are just maxed. Even my tech slots. I've been spending so much of this money that I've been making in this game lately, like on like new freighters, like exotic ships, like getting all my inventory slots out so I can hold a ton of shit. Like finally, man, like getting it to where. So glad we started this whole farm thing. Rain says, happy Easter as well. I'm always happy when they come into the chat, dude.
Yep.
So next, man. It's gonna be gnarly, dude.
It's gonna be the next big thing.
there's so many badass puns we can make out of next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 levels high, dude. I don't know if you're watching on your phone or anything, but they made a tower.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah.
Oh, a Geknip Tower?
It's not just Geknip, it's like Albumin, Pearl, Gravitino Ball, Geknip, Star Bramble, like there's a Sac Venom. Yeah. Pretty damn cool.
That is pretty cool.
I wonder if I checked in, I can't remember. I'm gonna check in this motherfucker out. Cuz Walt says more story, more blueprints. You may have already talked about this, but do you think they're going to increase slots across the board, or maybe just tech slots? There was some mention specifically by Sean Murray in his Xbox article where he first announced that it was coming to Xbox, and he wrote an article about it, and he was talking about what kind of player will you be, and he talked about focusing on cargo if you're going to be a trader and all this different kind of stuff. And I've been saying for a while now, me and Hidden both have been talking about this. I really do think that if they're going to give us the ability to expand the slots a lot more, I just see that being a thing. Like what I want is, and I think what you're saying, Cuzwalt, is like, let's say you find a ship you really like the way it looks. I think that pretty soon we're going to be able to just go to the space station or whatever and purchase additional cargo for that ship, so that we can take our favorite ships and really like customize them and add things to them the way that we want, so that we can have the ship that we want configured how we would prefer it to be. Yeah, but maybe I'm wrong, but that's all speculation. But I kind of
No, I think you're on something.
You think so?
Yeah.
Fuck, man, this farm's dope. Holy shit. Dude, I don't know if you're playing No Man's Sky right now, Hidden, but I went to your base a little bit ago and picked it.
I'm playing Far Cry right now.
Yeah, I figured you've been cracking out on that, like, hard.
It's really good, though.
Dude, everybody's been telling me how great it is. My brother, like, a lot of my friends, I was at my friend Adam's house today. He told me I needed to check it out, Far Cry 5. Apparently it's the shit.
Well, like the online multiplayer has like user-created content, so you can like spend forever doing new maps all the time, or create your own map.
Which is pretty tight, because then that's all like player driven, community driven type stuff. So I would imagine that probably helps the game from getting stale, because people can be adding new shit all the time.
You can do a lot of stuff to the world, like visually too. So like, I don't know. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I've just been going through maps since since you've been streaming and talking. I've been part of it. I did one called Walking Dead, and it's literally a wave of like 213 that you gotta wipe out of like enemies. It's insane.
Damn, you should stream Far Cry 5.
Yeah, I was thinking about it soon.
Ooh, what were you saying?
Like the town was designed like Walking Dead. Like it had like a church and prison. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome. I love Walking Dead. You know, the last season that aired, I didn't finish watching it. I think I still have like 5 episodes to watch. I got distracted with so much other shit and like good shows. There's so many fucking good shows right now.
I know. I'm in the middle of Altered Carbon.
I love Altered Carbon.
Diet. I'm watching those 2 right now.
I need to start watching Santa Clarita Diet.
It's good.
Altered Carbon, I love that. It was well acted. The special effects look good. It felt big budget. The storyline is crazy with the meths. I'm not going to give away any plot details for people that haven't seen it, but Altered Carbon is a really good show. Are you still watching, what's that space one with the guy who does Family Guy? Oh, The Orville. Are you still watching that?
No, I finished that. Nope, I never finished it.
And that's pretty good, right? That's a big recommend from you?
Yeah. Love it. I can't wait for season 2.
It's funny because apparently that show's been a hit. Like, a lot of people really like The Orville, and I didn't think it was going to do well.
Well, because you instantly, this is the problem, and I think Seth MacFarlane has dug himself into a hole, into a trust hole, I will say, because everybody I talk to about it, the first thing I say is, oh, what you looking at a Family Guy? Every person says that. I'm like, I see where you're coming from, and I'm always like, I promise you, it's nothing out there. There's no Family Guy humor type. It's like an original project from Seth MacFarlane. It's really good.
Well, and it's like not even for me. It's not even so much that. It's that, like, I love Ted, but not Ted 2, and I was excited about A Million Ways to Die in the West, but the movie was like, eh. you know. And so it's like a project where I was like, dude, I think he tried to do too many different things that weren't successful, and I don't think this is going to be a hit, but it ended up being a hit. He's good at sci-fi writing, apparently. Like, it's just kind of his thing. He's a nerd, and you can tell, apparently. So,
Yeah, bro, it's ridiculous.
and I'm a sci-fi nerd, so I'm fucking all for that.
You need to check it out.
Hell yeah. And, oh, so our buddy Cuz Walt has been playing Far Cry all night, so he's a fan as well. So definitely, you know,
Shoot, cuz Walt, send me a friend request, bro. We need to link up.
yeah, hidden Jew agenda.
Yeah, hidden Jew agenda.
Yeah, that's tight, dude. If one of our subs like that is playing Far Cry 5, a lot probably are, man. I would.
I'll probably bring it to the channel.
Yeah, bring it to the channel, stream it. Maybe if Cuz Walt's up to it, you know, he can come in the chat with you while you guys play it and do a stream. That'd be really nice.
Totally down.
Alright guys, so in about 3.5 minutes when I get back to this portal, I'm probably going to cut the stream off. I don't know how long I've been going. I feel like it's probably been like 9.5 hours.
I'll tell you. Oh well, it's like I won't.
It doesn't tell you until you end it.
Actually, the party will tell you. Nope.
It sounds like Cuz Walt said will do, so he's going to go ahead and add you. So you guys can play Far Cry. That is definitely what's up. So now I need to go ahead and get on that game. So.
Should. There's some pretty cool online maps right now. I've played a couple of it up and like, hell yeah. And the fact that like you're playing it and you know that like some while you're out there, but with all that, like you just like there's literally like thousands of maps to choose from. Thousands.
Yeah.
And they've also said that they're going to be like upgrading the arcade mode, like adding more stuff to the road. So I'm looking forward to that with Far Cry updates.
This is probably sold more than any other Far Cry game out there, you think?
Oh, probably. If not, I'm very surprised.
Like, because Far Cry 3 was, like, in my opinion, the best one. Obviously before Far Cry 5. And, like, it did good, but not that good. You know what I'm saying? Like, this one seems like this is more of a commercial success. Like, it's a hit, like a proper hit.
I feel like it is. I know a lot of people are playing it. And they have like different maps, like or game styles, gameplay styles. I feel like assault, journey, bounty hunting. Nothing insane.
Wow, I was trying to jump into that portal all cool before I ended the the stream, and I just slapped the fucking wall so hard.
Just as you said that, I looked down. This is like, it's like tap on the side. Fail.
I smacked
bro,
it
you
so
have
hard.
A giant circle floating goop sitting in the middle of a hole. You hit the side of it.
And then, like, I didn't realize what happened for a second, so I just see the thing, like, sitting there spinning, and I'm like, why haven't I gone yet? It's just, it was bad, it was fail. It was fail all the way.
See, this is the only animation in the game that I don't care if they keep, but the other shit, it's got.
Yeah, when it comes to your ship, they've got to change it big time. Well, guys, thanks for stopping by the Hidden Panda Show, checking out the live stream. Didn't plan it, kind of sprung it on you guys. You were here, you showed up. Appreciate that. Makes my nipples hard. Pops the roof off the house. You know what it is. So, thank you for stopping by the Hidden Panda Show. Thanks for joining the stream. Hidden, you got anything to say before we go ahead and shut her down?
Nope. Cause we'll add.
There you have it, guys. A man of few words. Anyways, good night. Panda out.